Welcome back, Lelanders, to a new episode of Intellivision Amico content. Now today we will be doing a new Intellivision console unboxing. And obviously it's not the Intellivision Amico because it did not ship, but we're going to do the best we can to discuss what an Intellivision fan like me, uber neckbeard next level things you can do with an Intellivision console today with the existing technology in 2022. All the fascinating things you can do. We'll give you hints, things like new controllers, new games, and even mod chip accessories. So yeah, we'll be checking out how you can pimp out an Intellivision console today and try to just keep the faith that yeah, maybe the Amico was likely never going to happen. Darius is right, Pat and Ian were wrong. Pat and Ian said it would come out one day. It's not looking too good. Who knows, maybe Pat and Ian are right and it will still launch one day and it won't sell. But we'll discuss a lot of these products for the Intellivision today that are actually sold out. So it's going to be really hard to get. And we'll try to disprove the idea, or at least examine the possibility that Pat and Ian could be wrong, that Intellivision actually, and Darius could even be wrong on this one, Intellivision still has shitloads of neckbeard fans like me, all willing to go gun-ho and support an Intellivision product, even one as shitty as Amico. Now, to be fair, I'm not a big Amico fan. I actually can't stand the console, but I wanted to support it just so that Intellivision would do good, and I'm also a fan of Tommy. So anyway, today we'll get on with the unboxing. And I figure we'll go to another screen, so today we can actually see the unboxing live. Let's check it out on the other screen. Oh fuck, I forgot to get the screen ready. Oh, and it's a blank screen. You fucking piece of shit. Alright, so we'll just be right back in a sec while we try to set up this second screen. Now luckily I've fucked up this screen so many times that I have found a few different ways to get it working again. I think one of the best ways is just to unplug it, replug it back in, and change the camera settings so that it goes from one device back to the other. And once it switches back to the other, we should be in business. And are we? Yes, we're back in business. Alright, sorry that it's super bright on the top of my head. I don't know, can we actually lower the brightness? Let's check. No, I hope everyone isn't too upset about the Intellivision situation and how it's like, yeah, it's not looking good. No, if anyone who made fun of the Intellivision that it would never launch, it looks like they were the most accurate, because right now that we're in a silence period where the Intellivision apparently is doing some deals and trying to get something saved for the company, which would be fucking sweet. We got more news today that Moon Patrol's company might be bankrupt from what we've heard. So that's not a good sign, but anyways, we'll get on to some good news of what Intellivision fans can do in the meantime while they wait for the Amico or for a new console from Intellivision. We'll also cover this. I don't know if anyone's heard about this company before. My previous videos, we covered it briefly. Is the company that released the Intellivision Flashback. Let's bring that picture up on the screen, yeah. Alright, so let's check out the Intellivision Flashback. Now this is the closest thing we've had to a new Intellivision console to come out since the old days. And it was basically the original Intellivision with a whole bunch of ROMs inside of it and with actual real controllers. Now this is the original OG Intellivision controller just re-put into production. So it's not like it's an imitation, this is actually the real controller from as far as we know. Yeah, see, it even says includes authentically designed controller. It's the original, authentic one. So obviously what happened was the old consoles, they've got all these old broken controllers, and people were disappointed that you couldn't use the flashback controllers and plug it in the OG consoles, like the originals. But we got some good news about that today, so we'll share that soon. So anyways, part of my adventure is I did order a flashback, but sadly, this flashback cost you like more $150. So it's gone up $100 since it's came out. I wouldn't be surprised if that price continues to skyrocket. Some of the other flashbacks are already at $500. So I wouldn't be surprised if you want to get your hands on Intellivision Flashback, you'll probably have to do it quick. And the console, the flashback itself, it has a bad shelf life. It's a dollar store brand, so it can break very easily. And it's apparently same with the controllers. That was also the knock on the original authentic controller, is it breaks very quickly as well. So if you wanted to get some new controllers for your original Intellivision, like me, then yeah, this is probably your best bet. You can go right now. So yeah, other people like No Swear Gamer have done videos about the Intellivision Flashback console quite a few years ago, like 6 years ago, I guess, when it came out. So you can check out their channel and watch the review about it. But this is just an example that I wanted to give, that one of the biggest knocks on getting an OG Intellivision today, you can get the flashback, but it'll cost around $150, and it breaks very easily. So you won't get very good longevity out of it unless you're lucky and you got a really good manufactured one. But what you could do is buy this and then take the new controllers and use them on another Intellivision. I'll show you which one. So technically today, I think unless you can find the Intellivision 3 somewhere, the Intellivision 2 is about the best Intellivision you can get on the market. Why? Because it's the upgraded version from the Intellivision 1. And what they did is they made it a lot smaller and cheaper. So it's like the Intellivision Slim. But except back then, instead of calling it a Slim, they actually just called it Part 2. Now the downside to this is it doesn't play some of the Coleco games, and arguably those are the best games. But some people found workarounds for those, like getting updated versions of the cartridge. And the other thing you can do with the old school Intellivision, it's got a controller port that unplugs. So you can literally take that original controller that everyone loves from the old school Intellivision, buy it with the flashback, buy an adapter cord, and then plug it into this one. So just to let everyone know, it doesn't work out of the box. You have to buy an adapter. But thankfully the adapter works as well as we know. We'll check out some information about the adapter. So there's a podcast called the Intellivision Podcast, and you can get the adapters so that your console, your new flashback controllers will work on the original Intellivision 2. So that was my plan right now as an Intellivision fan that was very disappointed. Hey, Rusty Valor, yeah, he's just about to ask what these are. This is actually the original 16-bit console from the 1980s. So it launched basically 79. This is the Part 2, the Intellivision 2 Slim, or the Intellivision Slim, called the Intellivision 2. So right now, if you want to play the original Intellivision games on original hardware, arguably this is the best way to do it. But the problem is they made the Slim controller when they came out with it, and you can detach it, but these buttons just aren't as good as the original. I'll show you why. If you take a look at the original on the picture here and compare it to that controller, you notice the difference? Well, I'll make it bigger so we can see it. That's what she said. Yeah, if you look at the numbers, these numbers, when you go to put your finger or your thumb on it, it's flat on the new version. And if you go to the original, and if I put my thumb on it and rub those numbers, you can see there's like a bump, like Braille. So you can actually feel where the numbers are just with your thumb. And people might be like, why the hell would you want to do that? Well, when it comes to the controller and the Intellivision, you put little cards over, and then you can feel where the buttons are, and you only want to look at it to remind yourself, oh shit, I forgot what the button does. I'll just look at the controller and it'll tell you what it does, because you put a little overlay in. So anyways, yeah, let's see if we got a picture of the overlay. Yeah, so the overlay are these little cards, and then they actually fit in the controller, and then they tell you what all the buttons do. But if you got the original controller, it sticks the buttons up. So you can actually just feel the buttons without having to look every time. So that's the one problem with the newer controller. So that's the solution. People got the Intellivision Flashback, and then they got the original controllers. Then they buy the adapter cord, and then you can plug it in. So that's one of the things I've been having the one problem with my plan to get my Intellivision going for live streaming is this cord. So once my Flashback arrives and I get it, I'm still going to have to get this cord. So if anyone's heard from the Intellivision Flashback crew, hopefully, or the Intellivisionaries podcast. So yeah, I'm going to keep trying to get a hold of those guys, get the cords, and we'll be all set. I can obviously play with the original controller that's built with the console or came with it, but I really want to go old school and get the original Intellivision controller, because this is actually the one that I played on when I was a kid, and people make fun of this controller, but obviously some people love it, because yeah, they're still selling them. Well, they did on the original or the Intellivision Flashback, and it sold out. So people mock the Intellivision Flashback and the Intellivision company, and the people don't want to still play it. There's still retro gamers, the good old hardcore neckbearders, that are doing this to the max still. We're getting new controllers from the Flashback edition, buying the adapter cords, hooking it up to the OG consoles. Now, to be fair, the only console I had when I was growing up as a kid, when it was Intellivision, was this one. So I had the original, like not the Flashback, but the one the Flashback was designed after, the original Intellivision, but it broke on me. So I haven't ever played the Intellivision 2. It's been a dream of mine my whole life. And since the Amico bombed, as far as we know, might be rebirthed in the next few weeks, it'd be nice if we heard an announcement, Soldier Boy or someone else got the rights to work with Intellivision, get the Amico out. But anyways, so since I can't play the original, people said you can buy the original and mod it, but you're looking at replacing a lot of capacitors and stuff because, yeah, they're fucking old. It's like a 40-year-old console, for God's sakes. So you're going to be swapping out parts off, components off the board. So that's why I went with the original hardware, but got the Intellivision 2 model. So at least it's a little bit more modern, the slim version. It's not much more modern, like maybe 3 or 4 years newer, but hey, when it comes to a 40-year-old console, 3 or 4 years newer, it means a lot. So obviously the other thing that people can do with this console today, we'll give a little hint. People have probably heard of it before, is you can get a cart, which you can load all the ROMs on it and just play it off the original hardware. So we'll look more into that in a minute, but right now we're going to do my unboxing. So now we'll actually open this console, the Intellivision 2. Now, to be fair, I could have bought it brand new in the box for like around $200. For some reason, you can buy boxed units. But I was like, fuck it, man, I'm just going to buy a used one and get it for like $100 because I'm not even going to play it that much. We'll probably do it for some live streams. And I want to give an example to people what it's like to actually buy a used one, because that's probably what more common will happen. Buying actual new ones, it's probably going to be more rare. So anyways, yeah, that's what we'll do is we'll open it. And I got it from eBay, and it was a place from Quebec. So it's the Canadian variant. I don't know, some people have mentioned the Canadian variant. I don't know what's different. As far as I know, it looks just like this picture. So anyways, right now we'll go to my game room and we'll do the live unboxing. Alright, so this is the box that just arrived today from Quebec. For the shipping, it took less than a week for it to arrive because Quebec's pretty close to me. We share a border with it in our province. Hopefully I just didn't dox myself. Anyways, so yeah, that's the box. And it's very actually quite like brick-like, but not that bad. Like it's heavy, but not that bad heavy. And I was kind of surprised they didn't put fragile stickers when they shipped this. Probably should have did that. They put lots of extra paper. Oh, they got bubble wrap. Oh my god, this is so freaky. I'm unboxing an Intellivision. Look at this, Mattel Intellivision. There's my serial number. It was manufactured in Hong Kong. I've got model number 5872. How trippy is this? This is way smaller. Like when I knew like my original Intellivision, when I had it when I was a kid, it would literally be like this much wider at least, like double the size. So when they made the Intellivision 2 slim, they were not kidding. Like it could just be when I don't remember it from as a kid as being a small system, but I remember the OG Intellivision, it was fat ass. I know some people like fat asses, but when it comes to consoles, I like a nice slim one that works out and does squats. All right. Hey, we can do squats together, right? Oh my god! Holy shit, man. This is crap coming out of the box. I'm like looking at my sleeves and there's foam flying everywhere. Swear it isn't dry skin. Holy shit, man. This is fucking amazing. Like, I had a feeling that unboxing a new console was going to be fun. I unboxed a PS4 Pro, and I did not have half as much fun as this. Look at this console. It is like the color of the NES. I don't know, like when you look at it in the picture on like the internet, it looks more white. This is exact like NES fucking color. Except it's like the footbath design of the Amico. Oh man, this thing is like fucking mint. If anyone's going through withdrawal for the Amico and they can't wait and they need something to tie themselves over, oh man, I don't even know if opening an Amico is going to be this good. This fucking console is fucking sick. And the weight of it feels almost about the same weight and size as the NES. I don't know if anyone has the NES, but like put it over top. Maybe the NES goes to like that much smaller, but not by much, right? Like this is almost the identical NES size. Holy shit. Wow. I did not anticipate the Intellivision 2 being this nice of a console. Now, arguably, people are going to be saying the Intellivision 2 games aren't really that good. Well, we'll be checking out some of the games this episode. I actually got a new game that I just ordered, and we'll show some other ones we just got too. Right, so in this package, I paid like $100, and I got like the console, the cord, and hookup. But this is the old school hookup. I actually just ordered a new version of this cord from China. It was about $20 or whatever. And it's going to make it so I can hook it up to a regular TV and live stream it. So yeah, soon we'll be doing live streaming, hopefully if this all works, with the original Intellivision 2 hardware. So yeah, it came with this. If anyone had these when you were a kid, yeah, I used to have these too. Now I think until the new cord arrives, I probably will try that one just to make sure my console works. So if there's any problem with it, I can message Quebec and hopefully their warranty issues. I think I got it from an actual retro gaming store that has a website on. Oh yeah, this is one of the old school cords and it's like in mint condition. This is a nice cord. Like, it's hard to get these. Like where are you gonna get it, right? That's an old school. This is like fucking antique shit, really, right? It's like 40 years old, for God's sakes. That's why I kind of laugh when I see this stuff, because it's really the exact same age as me. So when I look at it, I kind of relate to how old and beat up it is. I'm like, yeah, I can just look in the mirror, right? We're roughly the exact same age. All right, so what do we look at next? I've never held the Intellivision 2 controller. Let's go back to it for a sec on the screen. Yeah, this is such a rush. Yeah, so if anyone's wondering, the console color from like what I got from eBay and the original like on Wikipedia, it's definitely darker, way more NES color. Like, dear God, if it's like someone just showed me this, like a corner of it without showing me the whole console, and it basically says Mattel. I don't know, did NES work with Mattel at one point too? But I don't know, I'd just see gray and I'd see Mattel Electronics. I'd be like, man, this looks like the corner of the NES. But no, it's the fucking Intellivision 2. Holy fuck, man. I wish I had this when I was a kid. This is actually my ultimate favorite unboxing. Like, I've unboxed every PlayStation. PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, not yet 5. I've unboxed, Nintendo DS. I've unboxed a NES when I was a kid at Christmas. I even unboxed the original Intellivision one day at Christmas. But I have to say, this is better than any unboxing I've ever done. Probably because it's a lot to do with the hype of the Amico. So, not to make fun of the Amico and say, oh, that's the only reason you're liking this, but I think it does play a big part. Like, I've been dying to open some new Intellivision hardware, and this is fucking itching that, or scratching that itch. Oh my God. Does anyone see this? Oh. Man, if the Amico controller is anything like this, this is amazing. The feel. I know Pat and Ian and like Darius, people make fun of this controller. Even some people that say they like Intellivision say they don't like the controller. You know what I was thinking, what I like about it the most? Is it's literally designed to be a one-hand controller. So you can like control the movement and press the button in one hand. So I could be like smoking, drinking. Yeah, speaking of. So I know people make fun of the Intellivision controller, but you gotta hand it to one thing about it, is the one-handed thing about it. You can literally play this controller with one hand. Now, obviously it's better with two hands, 2 times better, but I never even realized why you can play it with one hand until someone mentioned that the Intellivision is also designed for some games to actually use 2 controllers. So when people say that modern consoles were like the first ones to come out with like, 2 analogs? It's actually technically not true, because the Intellivision, what they did is they designed it for the game Microsurgeon, for the, Imagic, one-handed controller that you can use one for each hand. So you can literally do the dual analogs playing Intellivision. Isn't that fucked? A 16-bit controller, dual analogs in 1981 or 1980. Like, this is fucking unreal technology I'm holding. See, that's the main thing that disappointed me with the Intellivision Amico not launching. Just the history of it. I wanted to see Intellivision continue. Like, what a quality console and product. That's what really kind of pissed a lot of people off when Tommy ran it a little bit under the bus. Who knows, maybe it can get turned around at this point, but just shaming the name of Intellivision. Like, this was such an amazing product. It still is. Like, I fucking love it. Oh, here I see the problem. People are saying that the buttons suck on the Intellivision 2. Yeah, the side buttons, they don't have that click. They're just mushy. So yeah, that sucks. Oh, and the screen buttons. Definitely just mushy. They don't have that click. So now I see why everyone was like, hey, when you get the Intellivision 2, and if you're in the modern era and you want it to be like the best Intellivision experience, you got to get the flashback, get the controllers, so that you can actually have those like clickable buttons on the side. Like, these are just mush. I press it, can't tell if it even did anything. But when you had the original Intellivision, like that one, you press it, it like clicks, as far as I remember. And same with the number pads. This is just mush. It's a little bit raised. People say it wasn't raised at all, but it is a little bit raised. But yeah, definitely not as much as the original. Like, the original was a big circle, and it like clicked when you pressed each number. These do not click. Yeah, so when people say this is a cheap-ass controller, they're not kidding. This is fucking like, I don't know, I haven't tried the analog part of it. This actually feels kind of nice. If I have to compare this to the original, it's a little bit too slippery. Makes a little bit too many clicking noises, ironically. I do like the original disc better. So yeah, so all around, this is a pretty garbage controller. But just the nostalgia of it, to think that they did a slim version, a cheaper controller. Like if I were them, I would have just made the console cheaper, but had optional controllers. So you could buy the cheap, like standard one comes with it, or offer the upgraded one that's the original. Isn't it funny? Like even PlayStation's kind of like that. I like the original controllers better. PlayStation 2 ones, PlayStation 3, those are damn good controllers. PlayStation 4 and 5 started to go downhill. But anyways, yeah, like I really love this original, and I don't have the flashback yet. It should arrive in the mail any day. And I won't actually have the adapter cord to plug it in and use it in my new Intellivision 2 yet. Oh, but just like, oh yeah, I see what they mean too. The on-off button on the Intellivision 2, very cheap also. It just feels like mush. Doesn't have any like click, like to go like click on, off, click, click. It's just mush. So hopefully that works okay. Yeah, I'll give everyone an update video and show like how hooking up this console works. Obviously on the back you got only one weird cord hookup. So there's a few different ways people have figured out to hook that up to normal TVs. So we'll try a few of them. There's a channel 3, 4 button on the back. There's the power cord. This will show people what the power cord looks like in case anyone's buying a console and they're wondering what should all come with it. Yeah, so if I had to give a review about the Intellivision 2 so far, I'd say the controllers are about a 4 out of 10. Like when people said these controllers are pretty bad, they weren't kidding. Like I'm almost borderline giving this a 3 even. It's that bad. But I haven't actually tried playing it yet, so I'll reserve that bit until maybe I'll be lowering it even lower. Yeah, so if I had to rate the actual console design, I fucking give the shell, the colors, and the design for the bay and the controllers, I give all that an 8 out of 10. It's really sharp. Like damn, like you're almost pushing 9 territory. The only reason I can't give it a 9 is the button for the power. That power button there, man, when you press it, it's just mush. Doesn't have like a click in and out. That was a real cheap ass move. They really should have put a clickable button there. Even a switch or something so you could go off, on or something. Click, click. Now that it even says power and reset. So I heard that how long you hold it does different things. So instead of making 2 different buttons, they just put 1 button, 2 features. Really cheap, cheap, cheap. Holy shit. I'll put this on the other screen so people can see it. Look at the power bar that comes with it. Mattel Electronics. So we actually got like an old school freaking power adapter. Nice long cord to it. I like it. Yeah, if anyone wants a better look at what the adapters look like on these controllers, it's very Atari-like. If anyone's seen the 9-pin Atari, there's quite a bit of little hairline cracks in the plastic in these. So I did hear that's one of the issues. Plastic, as it gets 40 years old, it's definitely showing some wear. Hopefully these both work, even though they're a little bit on the rough side. Now I actually do have overlays. I do got original Dynablaster. Oh yeah, I was going to wrap up and I forgot. We still got some game unboxings to do. So, we're not opening any new Amico games today. We already did that in a previous video if you want to check the archive. We opened Dynablaster. So what are we going to do for today? Oh yeah, well, we'll check out what games are coming too. Or let's bring up the flashback. If anyone's wondering, if you get the flashback so that you get the modern controllers to use with the original Intellivision 2 hardware, what games at least come with the console that you're going to be paying like $150 for now? Or who knows how much it is by the time this video goes viral. I'm just kidding. No, I don't think this video will go viral, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. Alright, so let's look at the games list. First one, Armor Battle. Here, I'm just going to hit the vape quick. I'll let everyone look at these games. Now, to be fair, obviously almost all the good games aren't on this list because they couldn't re-get the licensing, right? Like, we're talking Tron and stuff. Tron's the best Intellivision game, not on the list. But we'll be looking at it today, don't worry. It's one of the games. I had to get Tron first for my collection. Now, if anyone wants to see a video, I think No Swear Gamer, he probably goes through all these games and plays a lot of them. A lot of these ones are actually ones that are supposed to come out for the Amico, like Shark, Night Stalker, Snafu. So yeah, we're going to be doing some live streaming of these games very shortly if I can get everything hooked up and working. Because yeah, live streaming Snafu, that's been a dream of mine. I don't know if we'll be able to do it 2 players. We'll see what happens. Probably only if my friends come over. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can get it working online, because I was thinking some people can get consoles, like old ones, online. So we'll see if there's anyone who can actually technically do that. I know people do it with, what is that retro console called? RetroArch. So who knows, like the way that this old school Intellivision stuff is going with like modern technology, being able to play all the new games, even all the old ones. We might even start playing them online against each other. I wouldn't put it past the developers that we got on our side. Oh yeah, Utopia and Triple Action. Has anyone heard of Triple Action before? Sneak peek. I actually got Triple Action. It's one of the games that I picked up in a big box from a guy that lived in my city. He's like, yeah, I'll sell you a big box of Intellivision games. Don't even know what's all in it. Triple Action was one of them. Now, if people are wondering why I'm so hyped about Triple Action, if you look at the collection of like the new Intellivision games, Biplanes is one of the games on there in the Triple Action. So we'll get to play Biplanes. Oh yeah, and that tank game. Remember that tank game that everyone's freaking out about? It's also on Triple Action. So this Triple Action cartridge, that's the big one where it's at. I might have to clean it, and the cartridge itself rattles a bit when I shake it. So hopefully it works, but this is going to be some hardcore like gaming of the ultimate Intellivision nostalgia to tie me over until we find out what happens with Amico. Now, to be fair, at this point, my hopes are not high. Like, I really think Darius is probably the most accurate. Hopefully it wasn't a scam the whole time, and we'll find out maybe it's not a scam at all, and it'll be resolved. But yeah, if I had to guess at this point, it's looking like Darius is probably right. Like, I don't know, you gotta hand it to Darius. He makes some pretty funny videos. He goes over the top sometimes, but who am I kidding? Sometimes. All the time, but that's used to why I like Tommy so much. He used to be the same personality back in the day, going over the top and ripping on things a little bit when they need to be, when everyone else is afraid to. So that's why you got to hand it to Darius in a way. No, I even called the show and asked him to go easy on Tommy, to be fair, I like how he rips Tommy, because at least he's somewhat fair. If Tommy, I bet you, came out with the console and it sold well, Darius might actually change his tune. But to be fair, Darius has seen a lot of garbage at this point, and he's calling it out. Like, I'm the same way, where I've seen a lot of garbage at this time. I'm willing to call it out that it does look bad, but I'm willing to give it a chance still, at least. I know I've been kicked out of the Intellivision community on Facebook. I got into the fan group, but I was just a little bit too negative for their liking. But as you can tell, I'm a big Intellivision fan. I'm probably one of the biggest Amico supporters that's still sticking with the idea that I'm willing to give it a chance, even though I don't like the idea. Yeah, Tower of Doom. So there's a lot of good games that come on this Flashback console. This Star Strike game, that's actually one that I still have the original box from when I was a kid. So it'll be kind of neat to get the ROM version of it. I'll still have the box for it on my shelf. Hey, a Amico Day channel. Yeah, he's talking about the one I was just talking about, Triple Action, that we got right here. We're going to be doing it. So when Darius is making fun of that tank game that's on Triple Action, when Pat and Ian are making fun of that tank game, we're going to do a live stream, that fucking tank game, for the Intellivision on the original hardware, the Intellivision fucking 2, and we'll show people what the tank game is really like. I know, to be fair, maybe it didn't age well. I haven't played it in like 40 years, but, well, more like 30. But when we play that Triple Action tank game, we'll play the tank game, we'll play the biplanes game, and we'll see, is it actually worth, because Pat and Ian are making fun of it, saying that the IPs, they're not even worth saving. And I'm thinking, you know what, as bad as they look on the Amico, I think the original games, they were actually good. I think they're worth saving. That's why I have the console right here. So yeah, if we can get this puppy working on a live stream in the next few weeks, we'll get actual look at Triple Action. We'll see the tank game that everyone's making fun of to see if it's actually worth it. I know other people have played it on YouTube, but I don't think too many people have live streamed it yet. So we'll hopefully be one of the first people to live stream tank game that everyone's making fun of. And we'll see just how good it is. I'll even get some of my friends to come over. We'll do reaction videos of what people think about playing the actual tank game that everyone's making fun of. See how they like using the old school controllers. Like what I'm going to do is get the Intellivision original controllers and hook it up to my new Intellivision 2 console. So we'll be able to play it like ultimate authentic, where it's like OG hardware, but with the best controller. Not this one. This one's okay. I got to give it credit, some do. It's okay, but I really like the original Intellivision controller better. Although this D-pad is kind of neat. Or disc. It has spring action. If anyone's never actually seen these, if you press it in, it like springs in and out. It's like spring loaded. So wherever you press it, it like goes down and then pops right back up. It's quite nice, actually. People make fun of this, but I could get used to it. Especially one-handed. Like, who doesn't want to be like playing a game? Like, I could see this even with women, how they like to always be on their cell phones. You could have a woman with a wine bottle playing the game at the same time. Is that what Amico's designed for, women? I don't know, it could be. Or a smoker like Darius, if he wanted to do gaming, so he could all of a sudden be playing live streams. He could be playing just with one hand. It's a little awkward, but not that bad. Oh man, these buttons are horrible on these. I never realized how bad they were going to be. If anyone wants to see an example of a bad controller, like if anyone's actually making fun of the Intellivision controllers, and this is the only Intellivision controller they've ever held, I could see why. Like if you compare this to the one next to me, like that brown one, the brown one is like 100 times better. It's like way better. But this is still okay. Yeah, that's the thing. There's no feedback in the number pad. Very mushy on the buttons. The Intellivision 2 controller, like for a slim design, if this thing was way cheaper, you got to give them credit that they did come out with a cheaper option. I like how you can unplug it, so you can plug new controllers in, like this one for the Intellivision Flashback, with the adapter. Now, just to clarify, some people are getting it confused. can you take the flashback controller and plug it right into the Intellivision 2? No. But you can if you get the adapter. And the adapter cord isn't even officially for sale, but it is made by the Intellivisionaries podcast. So yeah, you can play with the good controller on the good console with the adapter cord. So that's what I was thinking one day. I'm almost tempted to open an Intellivision store where I sell the controllers, I sell the adapters. Because man, there's a market here. Like, I'm trying to buy these adapter cords and they're hard to get. So if someone actually had a store where you could just buy them easily, I would have already bought it from them. All right, so let's look at some of the more exciting content we got coming in upcoming episodes. Or yeah, let's get a quick look at the other thing that people might not realize. You know how I've got this new console, the Intellivision 2? People might be making fun of me because what happens if I buy the cartridges and they're so old that they don't even work? You know what I can do? I can buy this. This is the ROM cartridge. So someone designed a cartridge called the LTO Flash, where I can just take all my Intellivision game ROMs from the internet or backups wherever I got them and put them on the yellow cartridge and then plug this into my Intellivision 2, and that gives me all the games. All of them. So legally you can only put the ones you own cartridges of. So say if you happen to buy one and it didn't work, you can be like, oh fuck, now at least I own the cartridge, I can put the ROM on this and just pop it in my Intellivision. And people are wondering, can you put the new games, like the homebrew that companies are still making? Yes. So what there's like a manual that comes with this, and it tells you how to put all the new ROMs on it and stuff. So yeah, you can do that in 2022. You can get a ROM adapter, or basically a mod chip for the Intellivision, just a flash version, plug it in the cartridge spot, next thing you know, you got all the games. And now the problem with this flash cartridge is it's sold out, and after it's sold out, the only ones left on eBay are like $500. And they're apparently coming out with new batches and new batches, so I'm waiting for a new batch. I'm not going to pay $500 to get like all the games. Once it comes down to a normal price, I'll pay that. So if anyone didn't know, that's some of the wild shit you can do with the Intellivision Classic or the Flashback. Buy the controllers, plug them in your Intellivision 2, and then put all the ROMs on a game cartridge that you own legally. So yeah, I figured I'd share that with anyone who's kind of down in the dumps about the Amico failure. If they want to go hardcore Intellivision neckbeard, there's still ways to do it. We don't actually have to depend just on Tommy. Yeah, AT Games, that's good. Having Amico Day just brought up a great comment. So let's bring up the website. I even preloaded it. You can tell AT Games, or the viewer knows what he's talking about when he's talking about AT Games. Fuck, man, where did it go? Oh, there it is. I have so many monitors, sometimes I let go of it, it goes to different monitors. Alright, so this is AT Games. This is the company that actually made the Flashback Intellivision. And you know what they used to do? They used to actually have a section on their website called Accessories. You could click here and buy the controllers for their Flashback. So like if the Intellivision Flashback was for sale, they might have sold the controllers separately. So I was like, fuck man, can you imagine the Intellivision Flashback comes back? I tried messaging AT Games and asked them if they're going to make a new version or just re-release the Flashback Intellivision again, and they didn't get back to me yet. And normally they get back to you right away, so they might just be working out a deal. I was thinking, wouldn't it be funny if AT Games is the company that's working out a deal with Amico right now, like the Intellivision? So I don't want to give away anything. I don't know if it is or not for real. I'm just speculating, but I was thinking, if I had to guess, one of the best collaborations they could do is to go back and work again with AT Games. Now, if anyone doesn't know, AT Games also makes flashbacks for different consoles. They've made ones for Atari. And this fucking Atari one kicks ass. So I was thinking, if the new Intellivision one came out again, We can, like, I know the quality isn't the greatest, they break sometimes, but for what it's supposed to be able to do, it's fucking amazing. Like, obviously it's a mini console, so it's very tiny, but it's got controllers that you can unplug. And why does that matter? Look at the instruction manual. If you go to the instruction manual, it literally says that you can plug other controllers into it. So when it comes to the good games like Pong and stuff, you can actually plug in paddle controllers. There it is. Yeah, so you can actually plug these paddles in. So that's how I'm kind of hoping, like, if AT Games gets involved with Amico and they start manufacturing it, or if they even start making a new Intellivision again, I don't mind AT Games. Obviously, they're not the best option, but holy fuck, man, they're still pretty damn good. Like, God, like, people make fun of their company and stuff, but they got some good shit going. Now, if anyone's wondering what's the prices like for AT Games, they release fucking cheap-ass consoles. Like, I'm talking dollar store cheap. So when they're making their new Atari Flashback, apparently it's going to come with like 100 games, 110, and it's going to be under $59. So that's what I was thinking, like, man, if Intellivision and Amico, if they can partner with AT Games and get the price of their consoles down to like this type of pricing, they could fucking sell like fucking hotcakes, right? Like, serious. All these other AT Games consoles, they all sell out. Like, if you look at this Flashback, the last time they sold an Atari Flashback, it sold out. If you want to buy the Atari Flashback right now that people bought last time it went for sale, it's $500. So people that bought it for like $59 and filled their garage with units and then resold them, they got 10 times their investment. So it's like if you put $1,000 in, you get 10,000 back. If you put 10,000 in, you get 100 grand back. Put 100 grand in, you get a fucking million back. So I don't know. I'm going to try to get my hands on these flashbacks, and next time the fucking, the Intellivision Flashback gets sold, and if AT Games makes it, I'm buying another one. Like, I even got a used one coming, and hopefully it's not too bad a shape. Not the Atari, but the Intellivision version. So I'm glad the viewers, they brought up AT Games. They're a fucking kick-ass company, man. They know how to get hardware made. Like, I almost wish they would make an Intellivision 3 from AT Games and put a network cable so we could download games. Because if people want to know, like, Intellivision, they still make games. Let's show people. Just in case people don't know this, because I know not everyone knows it. Oh yeah, there's the website about the actual mod chip if you want to get it for Intellivision. It's called LTO Flash leftturnonly.info, and it gives you all the information how to order it once they get more back in stock. So there's the website for that. If anyone wants it in the description, just let me know and I'll type it in there. So here's some of the kind of cheap games that are coming out for Intellivision, but there's still new ones getting made. Yeah, look at this. This one's coming out in May of 2022. So people are still making Intellivision games. That's why I kind of laugh when Pat and Ian make fun of the Intellivision, say that it's garbage, no one would play it. Meanwhile, we're fucking still making games for it. People are still buying the fucking console. They're still modding it with mod chips. Like, Intellivision still has an active community. All the neckbeards haven't died yet, right? If anything, we're just getting our neckbeard prime going. Now, May 22. Now, look at all these games. These are all coming out in 2022. Unless this is some spoof or something, but I think it actually is. Even Pony. If you're into My Little Pony. Just kidding. No, I'm not into My Little Pony. If Darius is watching, you got a good laugh at that one. Oh fuck, I dropped my Intellivision controller. Hey, it's durable. I haven't even tried it yet. Oh, if the warranty people are asking, I did not drop it on the ground. It hit some bubble wrap. Alright, so let's look at some more Intellivision retro games. Look at some of these high quality games. People are making cases, overlays, the whole bananas. Look at all this. Gorf, Invaders, Death Race, So that's what I was thinking. If you could hook up the Intellivision Classic, like Flashback by AT Games, to the Intellivision server, like imagine Intellivision, they're like, come on AT Games, let's work out a deal so that when you make our console, you put a network adapter so that they can get onto our servers and start buying new games. Put a little fucking SD card slot so people can upgrade the fucking size of the memory. So then you could start getting like all these games from official developers, having the material on the Amico, the official Intellivision server, and actually be downloading games to the hard drive, playing it on these fucking OG consoles. Like, God, we don't even need new technology at this point. This is just going on existing technology. This would be like John Alvarado, just take a seat in the back. We don't even need your help. This is like already all existing. We just literally got to put in like, hand it over to the hackers, say, go to town, guys. You got the licensing all worked out. Now you can just build it. Oh, some of these games, just a few left. Some of them already discontinued. Yeah, that's what I wanted to show. How big is the Intellivision like retro community still thriving online? Let's check this out next. These are the prices on some of the retro games on eBay today, right now. Not in the past. So we got some of these old retro game homebrews, complete in the box, selling for over $100. $100, Wizard, Omega Reyes, Zombie Madness, 69. That's my kind of game. Zombie Madness, Antarctic Tales. You can tell I'm a Tommy fan, old school. Oh, Go Sub, they're also into the 69 price point. All right, Lost Creatures, old school. Some of these games are over $160. Holy shit, Melody Blaster for the Intellivision selling for over $1,000. Wow. So when people say the Intellivision community's dead, yeah, it sucks that we went through some hard times with the Amico, but I don't think the community's dead yet. If anyone's getting too down in the dumps, they can't wait for a new Intellivision, fuck man, maybe go my route. Buy the Intellivision too. Get your hands on the fucking OG hardware. Get the new adapter cord so you can hook it up to a modern TV. Yeah, I'll do a special about how to hook it up to like live streaming and stuff. If anyone wants to see how to do that. I don't even know if it's gonna work, so well, hopefully it does. Oh yeah, and if anyone wants to know too, you can actually get crates of Intellivision games that are unopened. So some people are saying these are reproduction crates or they're actually original. I don't know what's the deal. It says brand new, so it makes me think that, I don't know, maybe it's reproduction. Yeah, so, fuck man. Oh yeah, we're not finished yet. I keep thinking we're done the stream. We didn't even finish the best part. We get to open Tron soon. Oh yeah, here's that LTO flash cart. You can get it right now for almost $1,000. So anyone who got their hands on that flash cart for the Intellivision, fuck, you're lucky, right? Yeah, Beef Jerky, he's in here, and he says, yeah, keep the faith. I know, I'm not really liking the Amico, but I love Intellivision so much, I'm still willing to give it a chance. Like, even if it doesn't come out at this point, I'd be like, fuck man, it sucks, because I wish we would have got a new Intellivision. Even if it was one that was family friendly. I'd like more of the adult version Intellivisions, but... Hey Ludo, so does anyone want to see the unboxing of the new game I got for Intellivision? Oh man, I'm nervous because this is like a game that I've wanted to get my whole life. I think I actually owned it when I was a kid, but sadly I lost it. Probably got sold at a garage sale when I wasn't looking. Alright, so if anyone's wondering what we've done so far, let's get a quick recap before we move on. We got some viewers that just tuned in. So far we unboxed a new Intellivision 2, and it's by Mattel, and oh my god, like, I thought it was wondering, like, is this going to be a good console? It's like fucking NES color plastic. Even the red and white and black, this console is like the all-time favorite design I've ever opened. The only thing that I managed to find one flaw I didn't like, obviously it's got the old school hookup, so that's going to be a bit of a bitch. We'll do episodes about how we get it hooked up for live streaming. And the on-off switch, if people haven't seen the on-off switch, it's very mushy. So it doesn't really click, just mush. So when people say that they mock the button design, yeah, that is weird. But the controller ports, you can put the flashback controllers in here with an updated cord adapter. So if anyone's pissed off that they don't have any modern controllers, that they can play with the OG hardware, the more modern hardware of the OG, you can with the flashback controllers with an adapter. So adapter to flashback. And we also covered the mod chip. There is a mod chip that goes in the cartridge slot now. So if anyone hasn't gotten into like actual mod chipping their Intellivision, you don't have to do hard mod. It's just a soft mod, and it's like a mod chip that you can put the games on. We'll put it on the screen. Yeah, so this is the mod chip. So obviously legally you're only supposed to put games that you actually own copies of, but you know what people do, right? So there's how much it is if you want to buy it because it's out of stock and you can't wait. But I'm going to try to wait for this to come back on regular price because, dear God, man, that's a lot of money for an Intellivision mod chip, right? Even if it can play all the games, still that's a lot, right? Yeah, Beef Jerky wants to know, is there any foot bath features? This Intellivision 2 has the exact same foot bath design as the Amico, and I fucking love it. Like, I know people are going to mock the foot bath look, but holding it, and I'm like, oh my God, like this thing is sick. If this was like a tray that I could just put cell phones in and charge them, I'm looking at it, I'm like, is there a better design possible? Like, I don't know. I could see why foot baths copied this design. No, I'm just kidding. Now, I was just thinking, like, you ever notice in life, it is kind of a bitch charging stuff, and devices just came with a dock, so you could just throw it in. I know, it's like putting it in is half the work, right, ladies? No, so yeah, if it's this foot bath design, I fucking love it. I know people have made fun of it, but holy shit, I fucking love it. I like a lot of weird stuff. Speaking of liking weird stuff, let's open the next game that I just got off eBay. Let's check it out, live unboxing. Second screen. Alright, so this game actually just came via Purelator, and this is one of the only games that I have complete. Like all the other games in my Intellivision collection, they're all like just a cartridge or just the box or just the overlay. So this is the one where this is my first complete. And it came in a box like this from Purelator, and it's shrink wrapped or bubble wrapped. This is how I like my universe, all nice and bubble wrapped. No, I'm just kidding. Now, I like to live dangerously, so I'm not a bubble wrap person, but holy shit. Oh, it doesn't smell horrible. I was worried about that. I noticed most things about my age, they fucking smell terrible. You ever notice if you get like a newspaper that's 40 years old? Holy shit, does it reek. Alright, so look at this game. It says Tron, Deadly Disc by Mattel. Enclosed cartridge for the Intellivision. For color TVs only. Yes. I almost kind of want to hook it up to a black and white TV just to spite them. It says based on Tron, the futuristic adventure motion picture from Walt Disney. 1982. Alright, so let's open it, see what we got in it. Holy shit. We got the actual manual. So if anyone's wondering, like they make fun of like the retro games. You know, Darius is like, oh yeah, the fucking new Amico game cases, they suck balls. But you know what? They suck balls consistently. Because if you look at the original Intellivision boxes, how they're cardboard, they don't really shut properly. And they're kind of like weird, cheap-ass design. So it is consistent. You got to give Amico that. I would have liked less cardboard, a little bit more like Darius said, like put a little Velcro strap there so it actually closes. But yeah, the Intellivision Amico, they went very traditional with that. So here I got the manual for Tron Deadly Discs, and this is a fat ass manual. And it's even got color. And it looks like there's a French side and an English side. So this is definitely the Canadian variant, right? Holy shit, it shows the objective of the game, what the overlays look like. Holy, I haven't seen an Intellivision manual since I was a kid, so this is pretty intense. It shows how you can select the difficulty level. You know what, Pat and Ian? You got to give Pat and Ian credit because they are right about a lot of things. I make fun of them about being wrong for some things, but a lot of them they are right. Remember what Ian said? When Tommy started designing the first Amico games, he should have made all the theme, like of the game design, similar. And what he meant was like have the Intellivision Running Man and have them in all the games. So like there's this similar art style that's like across all the games for your console, especially when it just launches. And that's what they did with Tron. Like Tron literally has the Intellivision Running Man in the game. So that's what Ian was, I think he was right about that. They should have did that with the Amico. More games that were just like the Intellivision Running Man in another game. That was a good idea Ian had. That's what I was thinking. If Pat and Ian and Tommy actually worked together on the Amico, I bet you they could have made a good console. So here's more about the Tron game. Holy fuck, man. This is a nice manual. I won't go through the whole manual with everyone, but oh shit. The teleporting. Fuck, man. I forgot about all that shit. So yeah, so we're going to have to do some live streams and we'll play some actual Tron. Oh yeah, and the game, it actually came with 2 overlays. So I have 2 overlays for fucking Tron. And if anyone's wondering, there's a new video going around on YouTube. I don't know how new it is. But someone found out how to duplicate the overlays almost identically. So if you want to make your own overlays at home, someone actually found how to do it. And to give you a little trick, it's the, you know those overhead projectors that we had when we were kids, if you're a neckbeard? It's that material, so you can print on that, and then they paint the back of it white. So you can actually make the overlays exactly as you see them. So I don't know how exactly it'll turn out. We'll try doing a video about that too. So there's a lot of information about Intellivision. Here's the cartridge. It's like in mint condition. So this company that sold me it, holy, nice work, guys. This is not only clean, but it's like mint condition. Even the label. It's like you can make out Disney, you can make out Walt Disney or Mattel. You can make out the date, 1983. Fucking nice. That is really nice. Oh yeah, see here's the company I got the game from. I'm sure they don't mind me sharing. They're out of Quebec. Seems like the retro gaming community in Quebec, they got really good prices and really good shipping if you're in Canada. Like if you don't want to pay the import fees to get it from the States, it's way cheaper to go with Quebec. So big shout out to all the French gamers out there in French Canada. That was really nice of them to give me a fucking great deal on this game. I think I got it for around 20 bucks, which is a little bit high, but I think if I really priced around, I could have got it for half that, maybe 10 bucks, but it's in decent condition and it came with everything. And it's going on my game shelf on my next to my other Intellivision games. Wow. Made in Hong Kong. Mattel Electronics. Yeah, if anyone's jonesing for some hardcore Intellivision shit to keep you in the mood for when the Amico or whatever happens with Intellivision, maybe we'll just get a new flashback. Even then I'd be happy. Yeah, but this can help tie you over. It's working for me. Fucking A. Alright, so what other new slides do we got to go over? I was thinking I got a couple new pictures I wanted to share with people, and then we'll go over some of the other games that I got so that we can Whoops. Yeah, so yeah, there's what you can do with the Intellivision in the modern age in 2022. You can buy the Intellivision 2, you can buy the Flashback, buy the adapter cord so that you can hook it up to the good console, to the good controller, and you can get the mod chip and put it in. Can we play the games online yet? I don't think online yet. That's what we really need to work on next. I bet you any money if they could do it with like a, what is that other retro site called? RetroArch. If they could do it with RetroArch, I bet you they can do it. Alright, so next what we'll do is we'll look over a big stack of the games that I got. And if anyone's wondering, if you're doing like a retro gaming channel and you still want that thrill of just buying a giant box of games from someone and not having to pay a giant fee and like just having an adventure of what type of games you're gonna get, Intellivision seems to be where it's at. Like even in my city, I went to the local paper. I'm like, what kind of games do people got for sale? Typed it in. There's a guy, he's like, you know what? I got a big box of Intellivision games. Give me $10, I'll give you the whole box. I'm like, really? Whole box of Intellivision games for $10? I'm on my way to your house right now. So obviously I got a lot of duplicates. A lot of the games look like really fucked up. Like I got some hardcore fucked up games. But yeah, we'll check them out next. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. As bad as it is that Intellivision Amico sort of went in the dumpster, as far as we know so far, there's still a lot of new Intellivision stuff happening in the community. Like I didn't even know this mod chip cartridge thing was a thing, right? I wish I knew about it sooner so I could have bought it before it skyrocketed up to $1,000, but yeah. And not to mention so many new games still being made. So that's where Tommy was like, oh, I can't get any games done for the Amico. It's like, well, fuck, Tommy. If the Amico's having such a hard time, just come out with a new Intellivision Flashback. Make it capable to run the new games. Make it capable of playing the old cartridges. Fuck, we've seen. You can even make it compatible with the old controllers, for God's sakes. It's fucking, man, there's so much potential. We don't have to be all upset that Amico failed. If arguably it failed. Now I have to keep remembering to say allegedly because I've been picking on so many people for not saying it. I don't want to be the ultimate hypocrite. Who am I kidding? I am. Alright, so one of the first games that we already mentioned on the stream that we will be playing live streaming of, because it has biplanes and the tank game, is we'll be playing some triple action. When I went and talked to that old guy that sold me the box of games, fucking triple action was in it. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Triple action was the game I wanted the most. Or I'd say triple action was in my top 3. If anyone actually is like a real Intellivision fan who used to play it, they'll remember triple action because it's like one of the cartridges you just played over and over again. It was one of the best for the console. I would rank it in the top 5 game. Alright, so the next one we got was like one of the most common games ever, but very good for its time, is the poker game, Poker and Blackjack. So I don't think we'll be live streaming Poker and Blackjack because, yeah, we got Poker Stars and all that shit now. So, but back in the day, this was an amazing poker game. We might even play it just for nostalgia's sake if anyone wants to see a live stream of it, but yeah, that was like the original poker blackjack game that you could play a video game for that wasn't on a computer, like a home console. This is one that a lot of Amico fans went crazy for, and this was my ultimate favorite game for the original Intellivision. When the old guy had it in the box of games, I was ready to kiss him. I'm like, come here, old man. I got one for you. No, I'm just kidding. No, he had Utopia. So I was like, fucking A. This old guy had Utopia for me. And it's the white version. So I think it's not very good. I don't want to say otherwise, so we could get in trouble. Just kidding. No, I think it had something to do like what type of game it was. Someone was saying sports games were like red, or space games are red, sports games are blue. Here we got skiing. So the old guy actually had skiing. So this is like for the German company. Remember how they made the skiing game from Amico? This is the original one that game is based on. So we'll actually get to see, is it even good for the original? People are debating if it's any good or not on the original, so we might get to do some like live streaming of skiing. Wasn't the old guy's game collection like fucking mint? Like when I looked at him, like, you know what, man? You literally had all the best games. Alright, before we get into the old man games, let's go more into like the next box of games I got. So if anyone doesn't know, I don't actually live in Toronto, but it's about an hour away drive. So sometimes I'll like look at the Toronto ads and I'll be like, hey, maybe someone will ship it to where I live. Hopefully, because like you never know, right? Like someone could just be like, no, I'm not going to ship it anywhere. If you want to buy it, you have to come to my house and get it. So anyways, I found this another old guy. I should say I'm calling these people old, but I never actually met them. So who knows? Maybe they're young people that are just retro collectors. But anyways, we'll call them old man for now. Alright, so this is one of the games that I got from the old man from the newspaper in Toronto. He's like, same jazz. He's like, I got a whole box of Intellivision games. I'll sell the whole box for 30. And he's like, these ones come with all of the games, the boxes, the manuals, and the overlays. Whole box of games for 30 bucks. I was like, you know what, old man? If you'll ship this to where I live, ship it, and I'll pay you. And guess what? Apparently he did. Or he just took my money and ran. So we'll see soon. No, I emailed him, transferred him the money, so it is very risky to buy shit like that online. But when you're getting a whole box of Intellivision games, could you really pass it up, right? Hey, D. Reed is here. Yeah, drink some more if you think it's still viable with the masses. All right, I think that means chug, chug, chug. You know, that's what I was thinking. I'm going to have to take D. Reed's comment and with some actual like acknowledgement here. Part of this experiment in getting the old Intellivision, like the Intellivision 2, technically the more modern of the old ones. Fucking NES grain. Like did anyone know that when you buy the Intellivision 2 that it comes NES grain? Like holy fuck, I would have never guessed. What a nice grain. Like I'm not the biggest NES fan, but I have to say I like the color scheme. So anyways, yeah, what I'm going to do is take this console and let my niece and nephew play it. They're like 5 years old. And be like, you know what? Get these kids to play the old Intellivision, and they normally just play Minecraft. They're like fucking Roblox addicts, Minecraft. That's what their age group plays. So I'm going to get them to play it and then do a reaction video and ask their parents if I can air it. And then be like, you know what? We'll get actual kids' reaction, authentic, to the games that Tommy is trying to sell them. Like the biplane game, the tank game, the skiing game. So we'll actually get to see the reaction. Be like, will kids even like this in modern times? So I think that's a valid question the viewer brings up. Are kids actually going to like it? Competing with Minecraft? Like personally, I don't know. If I had to guess, probably not. But I think the neckbeard audience is definitely going to be the hardcore buyers of this, right? To think that like women are going to buy this console, the Amico, even that was a stretch. But because it's on a cell phone design, I was thinking maybe they could target the women market. Like the Apple market, you know how Apple, they sort of target women that are into like fancy looking cell phones. So they could go, oh, you should buy the Amico. It's like the Apple version of video games. They'd be like, what? Apple version? Let me waste lots of money on it. Not to make fun of women, but we all know the pink tax is a real thing, right? I think that's what the Amico, they didn't really want to like openly say it, but they were targeting women, right? Like Not like as like a predatory person like Tommy used to be, but like he would be targeting women as like customers to like buy the Amico. When he was saying soccer mom, he was basically saying women play games on cell phones. They actually want a cell phone controller. Not to categorize women all being the same. Maybe some actually like keyboards better, but to each their own, right? All right, so let's get a look at some of the other games the old guy has that he's sending me from Toronto. So this game, if you're looking at buying it on eBay with the overlays, the cartridge, and the manual in the box, yeah, I think you're only looking at like $10. So it's not a very big pricey one. It's one of the more common ones. And to be fair, I like Blades of Steel a million times better than this game any day. So I don't think I'll play hockey. Excuse me. Yeah, Blades of Steel, that's my favorite hockey game. You got to give Nintendo credit for that one. All right, so another one. This guy was a big sports fan, so he had all the whatchamacallit, sports games. So he's got NBA basketball with the overlays, the cartridge, the manual. So right now I'm looking at like 2 sports games, roughly worth about $10 each. So when he was shipping it for $30 and then plus the shipping fee, which came to $20. So I basically paid $50 for this box of games. And it's $50 Canadian, so you're looking at roughly like $30 US probably. Alright, so next we'll go to the game that he has for us. And it's the Major League Baseball. So this is the one when the old man had it. I was like, you know what, old man, you got this game? That's the one I need. Because this is the one that Tommy apparently has coming for the Amico. And this is probably my all-time favorite baseball game I've ever played, still to this date. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get it, just to show people why I like Intellivision baseball. This game is actually really good. I don't know, Darius could be right that maybe it just didn't age well and I remember it better than it was. But to be fair, like I've played modern baseball games, I don't like any of them. Like if I compared it to Intellivision baseball, I liked it way better. And people are wondering why. You take that overlay, you put it on the numbers. Say you're like playing baseball and you want to throw the ball to player like on first base. How do you do it on PlayStation? You got to like move the analogs, pick where you want to throw it or whatever, right? Guess how you throw the ball in Intellivision baseball? If you want to throw it to first base, you just press the number for first base and it throws the ball to it automatically. If you want to throw it to the pitcher, just press the number for the pitcher. Throws it to it automatically. And if you're really good, where you're smoking a joint, drinking a beer, and you're playing Intellivision baseball, you can just do it with one hand. You know, like throw the ball right to the bases, catch the guy stealing while you're drinking. It's a fucking wild ride, man, Intellivision baseball. Now, some people bash it and say the graphics suck and too simplistic, but I don't know. I'd have to give the Amico version a try. That's one of the ones I was like, you know what? Amico baseball could be a system seller. People make fun of the Amico, saying that it'll never sell, but all it needs is one system seller. And I think baseball could be it. Not to say I know, like, predict the future, like Pat and Ian saying it will never sell, allegedly. But yeah, I was just thinking if I had to guess, like, if I had to pick my top 3 games that I thought Amico could have a system seller, baseball would be one of them. So simple, but the damn overlay version, it's fucking addictive and fast and very efficient. Like, I don't know, is any other baseball game able to throw the ball to the other players that fast? Like, just doop, hit what base, boom, boom, boom. Now, the thing that was a little bit funny with Intellivision baseball is because it was so easy to just throw the ball to one of these bases, sometimes people would panic and they would hit second base instead of third base. So they'd be like, oh, fuck, I threw it to the wrong base. You'd have to wait for it to throw it and then quickly hit it again to throw it a second time. So as much as it is simplistic and fun, there is a little bit of like shenanigans. But it definitely makes it fun. Now, to each their own. Some people are going to hate it either way. So Obviously, fun is like one of those things that it's more retrospect, right? Oh, Ludo. He says he tried making the transparent overlays, and he says his dad's laser printer got fucked. Yeah, I'd be careful, especially if you have expensive printers, right? They actually recommend just bringing it to a print shop, and in a lot of cases they'll make them for you because they have the equipment to do it. So you just bring the file and you're like, hey, like Staples or whatever, your local Office Depot. And be like, hey, can you guys just print these on, overhead projector paper? And then, yeah, usually they got the stuff, they can do it really good. So I don't know, yeah, I'll try it with my printer, but thanks for the warning. I might actually try it on a cheaper printer first. Yeah, because you got to think, if it was too thin of a paper and the heat, it would just melt it, right? Now, when people are making fun of the Amico, the one reason I can relate to that is I don't like the Amico either, but I'm still willing to give it a chance. So that's one of the funny reasons why I like Darius' show. I don't really like the Amico design either. I kind of wish it was just still like the actual overlay cards. I don't like the screen idea. But anyways, like, I'm still willing to give it a chance. So what's one of the other games the old man's got for me? Zaxxon. So this is one of the Coleco games that I thought would not play on my new Intellivision 2. But from what I heard, is they already fixed that problem when Zaxxon came out. So it says right here that you can play it on the Intellivision 2. So luckily, this is one of the actual Coleco games that I'll still be able to play if my console works. Yeah, we still haven't tried the console, so that's a pretty big if at this point. Now, to be fair, most of these games are just going on my game shelf. Like, I only really like a handful of them. I'm a pretty selective gamer of what type of games I like. I'm not just going to be like, oh, this is an Intellivision game, I have to like it. Alright, so this is another screenshot of the big pile of games that the guy's got. He's got Night Stalker in here. He's got another copy of Triple Action. So that way I'll actually have the overlays for the tank game and the biplane. That'll be sweet. He's got Mission X, another space game. Looks like Lock and Chase, and Dungeons and Dragons. So right here, when the old guy showed me that he had Dungeons and Dragons, I was like, you know what? I think that justifies the shipping price, right? Because Dungeons and Dragons complete with the box, the manual, and the overlays, sometimes that game sells for $60 complete on eBay. I know you can get it for like 20, but I'm just thinking if I had to resell the games the old guy gave me that hasn't arrived yet, that was the big one, the Dungeons and Dragons. I know it's really blurry, sorry. It's one of those local newspaper ads. So yeah, there's another picture of the Dungeons and Dragons, and he's got the overlay for it. I know it looks like just one overlay. I'm hoping it's two. Now, if anyone thinks that the Amico is a bad idea and it's not going to sell well, I don't disagree with that. I just want to give it its honest chance. So the only reason I pick on Pat and Ian about saying it will never sell well is I just wish they worded it differently. I'd be like, I wish they said, I don't think it would sell well. It might not be a good investment idea. Because yeah, once they start telling people that it's not a good investment idea, they're literally offering investment advice. And it's borderline libel, trying to badmouth the company before it's even launched a product. Allegedly. Yeah, that's the one thing that Ian, he was talking about, why would anyone buy the Intellivision brand? Like, what's the point? They could just spend their money and buy a better company. I think he underestimates is a lot of people don't like him. So like a lot of people would be like, hey, let's buy the invest in Intellivision just because we don't like Pat and Ian. So that could be one of their defenses in the libel case. They could actually say that they got the Intellivision a lot of investors Because a lot of people will be like, fuck, Pat and Ian don't like it. Let's pump as much money in as we can. So to be fair, in their defense, I know I've picked on them a lot in the past, but yeah, if anything, they could just bring that to the judge and be like, you know what, judge? There's so many people that fucking hate us that they would be willing to invest just out of spite because we told them not to. How's that? Yeah, I know people don't like me being too one-sided. I said I'd try to stay at least somewhat unbiased. So we'll try to give credit to Pat and Ian where it's due. Oh, man. You know what I'm thinking? Isn't that going to be heaven when I get to play Dungeons & Dragons on my original Intellivision controller that I got brand new with the Flashback and plug it into my Intellivision 2? That'll be neckbeard heaven. I'm even going to have some mead ready. Like, this is Moniac mead. And mead, if people don't know, is like the drink that people usually drink when they play Dungeons & Dragons. So I'm going to have some mead. I'm going to comb my neck beard. I'm going to have my Intellivision controller. Oh, man. It's going to be hell of heaven. Almost said hell. Darius would probably be like, oh, God, that's hell. No, and if anyone's wondering, what other games did I get from this guy in Toronto? Not yet. It hasn't arrived. He also shipped the other Dungeons & Dragons game. So I'm getting both. So I'll be able to live stream both of the Dungeons & Dragons games on original hardware. Now the one game I'm missing in my collection is Burger Time, which is actually in this image. So we'll have to try to get Burger Time eventually. But I'm not really a big Burger Time fan, so when people are like, oh, live stream Burger Time, it's like, oh, maybe. We might try it a bit. Now, if anyone's wondering what's the plan to get my Intellivision hooked up to a modern TV and to live stream, I got a new stereo receiver that allows me to hook up like fucking 20 devices. It's like an ultimate stereo receiver. I'm talking like this stereo receiver costs more than any other device in my entertainment unit. It's like close to $1,000. So anyways, what it's got is like all these HDMI hookups. It's got regular hookups and it's got an out HDMI. So you can take the out from the stereo and not only run it, it's got 2 outs. So you can run one to a TV and then you can run one to a computer. So you can literally have the same signal going from your TV also to your computer. So what I'm planning on doing is taking the OG Intellivision 2, let's put it on the screen, and we're going to take the cord from it with the adapter and hook it up into the stereo. So then from the stereo, it'll go to my TV or to my computer. So I'll literally be able to do both. I'll be playing the game on my TV with the original hardware and streaming to the computer at the same time. If it will work. I haven't actually got it to work yet. I haven't actually tried to hook it up. I got it for Christmas and I've been working a lot, so it's literally been like 3 months and I haven't even finished unpacking my Christmas gifts. Now, ideally, what I'd like to do for the live stream is eventually get the live stream going so good that I got the flash cart with it too, so we can just play all the games quick without having to change the cartridge. Because I got fucking mountains of games that we can play. So one nice thing about collecting for Intellivision, if anyone's down in the dumps because the Amico project doesn't look so good right now, the fucking retro game price for collecting on Intellivision, it's in one of the sweet spots. It has kind of spiked a little bit, probably with the Amico popularity, but it's still one of the affordable ones, right? Sure, there's a few games that cost thousands of dollars, but a lot of them you can get for under $1. So I was like, fuck man, if you're looking to complete a collection of games, you don't even need the flash cart. You could literally just buy all the old cartridges. It's probably even cheaper. Now, it would be a dream come true if I could play the Intellivision against other players on the live stream, so we could actually see online matches, but It'll probably just be against the computer unless my friends come over, which doesn't happen very often, as you can imagine. That was one of my disappointments with the Amico, is when they announced that they were canceling the online play idea. I was like, you gotta be shitting me. Like, a lot of these neckbeard guys probably can relate. We don't really have friends, family. This whole idea of other people being in our lives. Nah, just not to make fun of it. I'm sure a lot of neckbeards have a whole big family. That's what I was thinking. Like, you're literally marketing a foot bath to neckbeards, but you put in all these features that are anti-neckbeard, which kind of really hurt the target market, right? Or allegedly target market. All right, let's look at more of the games that the guy from Toronto has for us. Yeah, I can hardly wait till those games arrive. All right, so another one he's got is Donkey Kong. And this is another one of the Coleco ones that will not play on the Intellivision 2. So sadly, I will not be able to play this one. Allegedly, there's a cart version of Donkey Kong that came out later that was white instead of black. Not saying white's better, but the white cart was allowed to play in the Intellivision 2 and work. Oh, and they said Donkey Kong Jr. is also one that'll play in the Intellivision 2. So if you're if you get the Intellivision 2 and you can't play Donkey Kong and you can't figure out why, it can't play the black version. It's segregated it out from its lineup. Sorry, that was terrible. All right. Now, Canada does a lot of segregation these days, so I kind of make fun of them for it, and I shouldn't make fun of it. It's insensitive. All right, so now I'm not a fan of segregation, so that's why I make fun of it. I'm not saying I make fun of it because I like segregation. Just to be clear on that. All right, so anyways, here's the other game that he's got for us. It's a Dungeons and Dragons. And what I was kind of pissed was that he looks like he doesn't have the overlays for this one. But I was like, hopefully the other Dragon or Advanced Dungeons and Dragon game will have overlays that are almost the same. So at least I can just use the same overlay for both games. That's what I'm hoping. Yeah, and if anyone's wondering, like, if Tommy got the Amico to come out, this, like, Dungeons and Dragons or Cloudy Mountain is what they were going to launch it as. It's arguably one of the system sellers. So if you wanted to rank what was the ultimate system seller that the Amico actually could have, like, outsold Switch, to joke, but it could have, if it didn't get slandered by Pat Nian. No, I'm just kidding. Allegedly. Hey, Steadfast, how's it going? Yeah, so if I had to guess, like, Dungeons and Dragons, that's huge with the guys my age, right? Like, to be fair, I'm not a big Dungeons and Dragons player, like in the actual board game or whatever it is, with the dice. But I always thought it was kind of neat. I like to party with the Dungeons and Dragons guys because they usually had really good weed. And they also had mead. I wasn't too big a fan of the Dungeons and Dragons, but hey, you could bring your girlfriends over and you wouldn't have to worry about them getting picked up. I shouldn't make fun of it. The Dungeons and Dragon guys, they're usually the guys that have millions of dollars and they run companies. So they could probably get way better girls. Let's be real. We make fun of the nerds, but they have hotter babes than we do. All right, so we finished drinking the bottle of mead, and there was only a little bit left in the bottle. So people don't have to worry, I'm not hammered or anything. So yeah, we'll finish the rest of this console unboxing. What's some more of the games that we got? We'll save the best game for last. It's on the theme of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Some people already know because they watched my other video. All right, so we got Space Armada. Space Armada is one of the other games. I can't remember playing Space Armada too much. Astro Smash. That's another one of the ones that I think was the big Amico game. So we're going to have to check that out, see if it's actually worth it, trying to wait for it to come out on Amico. Wait, so we got Space Armada. Sub Hunt. Some people that like sub games, they might like that one. I'm not really into sub games, so I don't think I'll play that one much. Another copy of Astro Smash. Another copy of Triple Action. Yeah, so we got Utopia, Blackjack, Skiing. And here's the big one. The one I'm looking forward to playing on my Intellivision 2 the most. Not because I like the game, but just because I want to see it. Atlantis. Yeah, so I did get Atlantis already. I don't have the instructions, I don't have the box, I don't have the overlays, but I do have the cartridge. Oh yeah, and I found the cartridge manual and the overlays on eBay for like $1. So I bought them. So whenever those arrive. So I know I am spending a little bit too much on games. I think I'm going to budget my game spending to about $100 a month. Try not to go over that. I tried to make it down to 0 spending, but it just wasn't working. We have to be reasonable here. Now, if Amico came out, I'd be spending all this money on the Amico instead. But since I can't buy the Amico, I'm just going all out neckbeard on the Intellivision 2. So fucking Dungeons and Dragons, the whole shabazz. Tron, for God's sakes. We got Tron. Yeah, if anyone's looking forward to the Tron live stream, oh God, man, that's the one. I used to love the Tron game, so I don't know how well it aged, but I'm hoping it aged okay. Yeah, see, some people are getting these game bundles off eBay, but I don't really recommend these bundles too much, because look how much it costs, right? Like, sure, I got a big box of games in a bundle, but I paid like $30 instead of $300. So yeah, it's from Canada also. And yeah, that's that place in Quebec. Remember I was saying Quebec seems like a good place to get the games? Holy fuck, man, there's a copy of Burger Time. Man, Burger Time's going for $20. Holy shit. Holy shit, you can get 6 games sealed for $100 plus a 50 in shipping. So yeah, if I had more money, I don't want to go crazy in collecting because I just want to get the cheap stuff. I don't want to go too much from like spending a fortune on these old games. I'd rather get good deals on it, so if I had to get rid of it, at least I can sell it for a profit. Not where I just overpay and then not be able to resell it, which probably I did arguably on 1 or 2. Yeah, so if anyone's had any luck, if they could put it in the chat, ordering these flashback controller adapters. I can hardly wait to try that out. Oh yeah, one thing I ordered is I actually ordered a normal adapter. So I can actually just take the original controller and I'll be able to extend the cord by 6 feet. So when I go to play it on my like 65-inch TV, I can sit back and watch the game from a distance because I'll have an extra 6 feet. Yeah, because the cords that come with it, they're like maybe a foot or 2 long. So yeah, the extra 6 feet definitely will come in handy. And I'll let people know in the chat when I combine this with the extender cord. Oh yeah, then maybe I can do 2 extenders. So I don't know, we'll see if 2 extenders works as well. Yeah, and just to give everyone a review of this disc, I like the disc. Number pad, really not good. Side buttons, the worst I've seen yet. But when the flashback controllers arrive and we try it with the cord on the actual console, let you know how it goes. I don't know, should we try putting the controllers in the foot bath just to see if it even fits? I know people make fun of the foot bath design, but I fucking love it. Oh my God, it fits so nice. Yeah, it's definitely an acquired taste, a foot bath, right? A lot of people, I can see why they make fun of it. It's definitely different. If you're into everything being the same, then yeah, the foot bath design is probably not for you. Holy shit, let's check it out. We'll go to the other screen. Yeah, so you can see what happened here, right? The controllers are definitely more white. It seems like when the plastic fades, It turns more to an NES color. But when you get the controllers originally, they're a lot more whiter gray. It's like a light gray, but once it ages, it turns to NES gray. So fuck, man, like these footbath designs, putting the controllers in, that looks sweet. Like I'm gonna put that on my entertainment stand, and I don't have the Amico, but I will have the Amico games, and I'll have the Intellivision too. I might even put a few LEDs around it. Who are we kidding? No, what happened was this company from China, they shipped me a product by accident. It was like this strip of LEDs. So I was like, hey, maybe I could just use those LEDs one day. And now I got the Intellivision 2 and I'm kind of jonesing for the Amico. I'm like, huh. No, I don't think I'll go that far, but... No, Darius would get a good laugh if I actually did that. Now, I think someone did that on YouTube. They put LEDs on one of their old Intellivisions. Yeah, see, if you want to get like just a bundle of old games, if you try to get it off eBay, you're looking at a pretty price here. Yeah, like look at the price of some of these, right? There's Masters of the Universe. That's one of the ones that I really want to get for Intellivision. God, look at that game. Oh man, he's even got some Beavis and Butthead stuff behind it. Yeah, now that's a fucking mint game. That's when He-Man was a man. Can you imagine it's that old? No, arguably the He-Man game sucks, but man, I'd like to see the manual, the overlays. Just put it on my shelf and be like, oh, look at that. There's He-Man. Back when he used to kick ass. Castle Grayskull. Yeah, I used to have He-Mans when I was a kid, so that hits the good old nostalgia. Wow, He-Man. When he was a man. Not that there's anything wrong with anything else. Alright, so let's go back to the Intellivision Flashback games. So yeah, if anyone's thinking, damn, what games do I get with the Flashback? Cost $150 now. Can't get it for cheap anymore. It comes with some good games. Like if people are wondering, is it worth to get the Flashback if you got Amico withdraw really bad? I would say yes. Especially since you can reuse those controllers for the old school Intellivision. Like I'm hoping the AT Games starts selling the controllers separately again, but I messaged them and asked them if I could just buy a controller. No response yet. I'm like, dear God, guys, just sell me a controller. It's all I ask. You got what I need. Give it to me. I'm a fucking gaming addict. I need my Intellivision fix. Yeah, the Intellivision even has some unreleased games. So they had a Breakout clone called Brickout, which arguably isn't any fun. A pool game, a hard hat game. Takeover. Holy shit, is that like Risk for Intellivision? Dear God, I gotta try that. I might be doing Takeover live stream soon. Oh yeah, there's Sub Hunt, the other game that I got. Yeah, does anyone else see games that they like on this list and want me to try playing someday? Shark, I think that's one we'll have to try. I've never tried Shark and everyone talks about it. So we'll see Shark, what it's all about. I don't know, that frog game, people like it, but I don't really like that frog game. It's too basic. I know basic is okay for some things, but I don't know, that frog game was just a little bit too basic. If I had to guess, my number one go-to game for Intellivision live streaming, and what could have been the ultimate system seller for the Amico, which people might make fun of because you can get it for other consoles, but I think Snafu. It's just one of those games, man. It was so much fun, right? Like I think right now, like when I boot up my new Intellivision, One of the games I want to play the baddest is Snafu. Do I even have it? No, so I don't have Snafu. Fuck. So I'll have to wait till this version arrives. Yeah, and I might even get my niece and nephew, like some of the viewers pointed out. Well, kids even like it. I'll get them to try the educational game and see if they learn anything playing it. Because if I can give them a video game and they actually learn playing it, I'll be like, wow, maybe Tommy's right, and this system for kids could actually not be the worst idea ever. Allegedly. Yeah, it's a nice list of games. I can hardly wait till this thing arrives. Alright, so did we cover everything else? We covered the Old Man in the Box games. The box from Toronto, we covered the pictures, but hasn't arrived yet. We opened the Intellivision. We opened Tron. I don't know, man. Like, I feel bad for everything Tommy's going through with his dad. I know we just went through with my uncle and the whole hospice situation, but damn, man, if Tommy can bounce back after he's finished all of his family crisis stuff and maybe put video games live to the side and team up with Soldier Boy or maybe AT Games and have a chance at bringing the Amico. I know everyone's counting it out. I don't even like the Amico idea, but dear God, if it could still pull off a miracle at this point, it'd be the ultimate comeback story, right? Like, I don't think any console could have gone any further down in the dumps and still bounced back and made it. Not that it's going to happen. I think it's done, but if it can pull off the comeback, it'd be the ultimate. Now, I think this is what drives the Intellivision fans. Like, really, there is a lot of fun titles in this lineup. Some that you really just can't get on other consoles. And it sucks that they don't have all the ones that are unlicensed or licensed, like Disney games and stuff. But you can just be like me. If you want to play Tron so bad that you can't get it for the Amico, just get it for the original. You can still get it. It's not even that expensive. I never would have guessed Tron, too. When I grew up and got older, I loved disc golf. So the discs in Tron, and I was thinking someone really should make a Tron disc company. That'd be sick. Alright, so I think we covered just about everything that I wanted to on the stream. We'll take maybe a couple more hits off the vape. Check out some of my sponsor message stuff. We'll get caught up on the viewer chat, see what other comments we missed. Look at that, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. If you want to get it in mint condition, like graded, it's over $100. But I'm thinking, dear God, man, that's still like not that expensive, right? Like, as a collector, that's still affordable. And how long will these games last at an affordable rate? Even if Intellivision bombs, I'm pretty sure the Intellivision brand name it'll recover. If anything, it might even get bigger because of it. It's not always a disaster to get bad press, right? Yeah, happy Friday, everyone. Fucking A, weekend. You know what, I went outside today and I did some gardening outside, did some raking. A lot of the snow was starting to melt in our yard, so I got to rake around the edges of it. Got my greenhouse all fixed up again so I can start putting some plants in it soon. I might even start my tomatoes outside soon. Once the negative temperatures are gone. No, I've had really bad luck with my gardens over the years because animals always get them. So I was thinking, shit, man, having the greenhouse is probably my best chance of actually getting a good harvest. Or any harvest. No, and if anyone's wondering if the Magic games are really worth collecting, because a lot of people are like, oh man, collect the Magic games. They're really sick. I've only got one Magic game in my collection, Atlantis. It is my best game. So yeah, if anyone's wondering, like, is it worth it? I think the design of the cartridge, just the label, the plastic, the grain that they do, it is really the top of the line Intellivision cartridge. I don't think I've ever tried a better Intellivision cartridge. Oh yeah, that's another thing I wanted to show the viewers about Intellivision stuff that you can still get. Where is it? I'm going to 3D print this soon. So if any of my viewers are Intellivision viewers and they want to win one of these, just let me know. Maybe I'll give one away in the chat. Yeah, so what you can do is you can order or 3D print a game rack. So you can actually put your Intellivision games if you have just the loose cartridges. Look at that, eh? Now, to be fair, I think I'm going to print one of these up and make it so it can just hold 1 or 2 games. Holding so many games seems a little bit ridiculous, but who knows? Maybe I'll just go with the original design and see how it looks holding all the games. Yeah, so that's not a bad 3D print. Looks pretty sharp, right? Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. When it comes to like 3D print stuff, there is still quite a bit of stuff with Intellivision out there. Let's see what else we can find. Alright, so someone put the Intellivision Live symbol, so you can 3D print that. I thought that's kind of a little bit cheeseball. I don't know if I would really print that, but it's kind of neat. What else was there? There looks like some sort of controller adapter, so you can add joysticks to your controller. That's what I was thinking. If Tommy wanted to make the Amico good, he should have made it 3D printer friendly. So you could actually 3D print a lot of your own mods for the Amico. Like even make the 3D Amico case, so you can make your own case designs and shit. He tried to do too much in dumb stuff, I think. Yeah, because like if people could all of a sudden start 3D printing their own Amico controllers, you know how much fun kids would have with that? Especially even parents. It'd be like a project that you and your kids can work on. You could design your own controllers, print them out, play them with games. So I was thinking that Intellivision really should have did too, is they dropped the ball when it came to the game design, is they should have made it like Roblox, where people could design their own levels and sell them and make money. Because I know he's treating kids like kids, but they want to be treated like adults, right? The kids want to be able to make games, sell and win Roblox money. They like the idea of pretending that they're adults and making money. So yeah, it's like, I don't know why Tommy would fight all that. It seems like a real backwards way to market stuff. Like if you want to market a product to kids, you make it for adults, because kids don't want kids' toys. That's like the very basics of marketing, right? The last thing a kid wants is a kid's toy. 9 times out of 10. The fuck's going on, man? Now I've got a file called 3D printing and it wouldn't show up. So I put it on a different monitor and then it does. It's funny. Now, not to hold it against Tommy and say that it will never sell, but I'm pretty sure Pat and Ian were right in a lot of ways that it was going to be an uphill battle for it to sell. That's for damn sure. Oh yeah, let's check out these 3D prints. So that's what I was thinking. Even Nintendo's kind of shooting themselves in the foot. They should really have like their own Nintendo lab kit or whatever that has 3D printer shit. So yeah, I think I might 3D print one of these Intellivisions one day. I might 3D print the old school one. Although that looks pretty cheeseball. They got the Intellivision Running Man that you can print. That's kind of neat. I might actually print that one, but it looks cheeseball really. They got Intellivision like mounts, and I don't know what kind of mount they're talking about. Yeah, Labo. If Nintendo could find some sort of way to make a Labo kit, except it involved 3D printing Nintendo shit, holy fuck, could that ever open a market? They could even have a Nintendo 3D printer, for God's sakes. Have it as like a controller attachment. Start getting the kids to print their own, what do they call them, those little labos, or yeah, labos. Those amiibos, that's what it was. Print your own amiibos. So yeah, I might actually 3D print an Amico just to paint it and put it on my shelf one day. Have the actual controllers. That's kind of a nice 3D print. I don't know if anyone knows the guy that designed this one, but it looks pretty nice. Very footbath-like. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Like, I think 3D printing this might be the closest we ever get to owning an Amico, eh? Not to make fun of it, but allegedly, right? Yeah, the thing is, you'd have to paint it, and if you painted it really nice, you can make it look like the Amico, right? And depending how big of a 3D printer, if you had the, what is it, the Elgato Jupiter or something, you could make it huge, right? You could even make it life-size. I don't know how big the real Amico is, but we'd have to ask Tony. Now, to be fair with Tony, he does watch my videos and leave nice comments, so I shouldn't always pick on him. The only reason I find his personality a little bit annoying is because he's always picking on Tommy. And I like Tommy, so it kind of rubs me the wrong way, but I get why he picks on him. He's definitely done enough to bring it on himself. So I shouldn't really hold it against Tony for picking on Tommy. To each their own. Not everyone has to like Tommy. God, man, I love that console. I can't believe I have the Intellivision 2 now. I just hope it works. Not that I got it from Quebec and they fucked and sent me a bad one. But so far, so good. All the experience, if anyone's thinking about ordering this stuff from Quebec, I've had nothing but good experiences. The prices, the shipping time, the quality. So I have to recommend Quebec stores so far. I haven't had a bad experience yet, knock on wood. Now, if anyone's making fun of Tommy about not thinking right, to be fair, I'm actually worried about how he thinks as well. If anyone doesn't know, he's gone down the vegan route. And not to make fun of veganism, I know it works for some people, but a lot of people, when they don't eat meat for like years or decades at a time, it doesn't affect their like mental faculties very well. So that's why I was a little bit worried that the veganism had a little bit something to do with the Amico, and how like Amico is very much like you take all the testosterone or animal hormones out of someone and they would design something like the Amico. Not to pick on it, but so yeah, I do worry about Tommy. I almost wonder if he, like if someone said, you know what, Tommy, let's cook your favorite meat. Like if it's salmon or steak or bacon, whatever you used to love, and just have one big meal of bacon or steak or whatever it is, and see if you think the Amico is still a good idea, right? I almost think that like if he really sat down and like had like a just a whole like epiphany moment after eating meat again, or at least animal products of some type. Now some people could argue and say Tommy actually isn't a strict vegan, so maybe he already is eating meat. But if I had to guess, he's probably strict. Maybe not, who knows? If anyone's seen Tommy already eat meat, then we don't have to worry so much. And who knows, maybe veganism does work for some people. Yeah, you know what's the scariest part about veganism? Literally, I went to my doctor's office, which was also a clinic, like a clinic where anyone could just come in. You know what's the first question they ask, especially to young women? They're like, have you gone vegan recently? And I was like, what the fuck? Why are you asking me if I gone vegan recently? And they're like, because of all the like recent veganism on YouTube, their doctor's office is like 90% of the patients are suffering some sort of dietary imbalance because they went vegan and it didn't work for them. So a lot of people are thinking like, yeah, veganism works for everyone, but actually no, the majority of people it doesn't work. Not to make fun of it, I guess some people it does work, but yeah, a lot of people end up hospitalized. Like that's how dangerous it is. So yeah, you have to be really careful if you're going down that veganism road or any dietary route, right? That's why you always have to speak to professionals. Don't take my advice. Speak to a dietitian or whatever. If they tell you that like taking out all animal products will help you, who knows? Maybe they see something that I didn't. But yeah, can you imagine that? Doctors' offices in Canada were literally flooded with sick vegans. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. That's like the biggest drain on our fucking country's fucking medical care system, is people refusing to eat animal products. I was like, you gotta be fucking shitting me. Like, that's where you come to the point where people almost should pay for their health care. So they all of a sudden notice, they're like, hey man, if I stop eating all animal products, I literally have to start paying thousands in medical fees. So I'd be like, holy shit, maybe I should just eat some steak or something, right? I know, like, I give credit to vegans, how they want to be nice to animals. Like, who doesn't want to be nice to animals, right? So they do got some good parts to it. Yeah, that's crazy how many people live in, like, the best meat locations, like on a beef farm, and then they go vegan. I actually know people who grew up on a chicken farm, and it actually caused them to go vegan. Because, yeah, vegan, they do have a point where, like, a lot of the chicken farms, they do abuse the chickens too much. So that'd be one of those reasons where, you know what, I'd almost starve myself just to see the animal not suffer like that. But at one point, you got to say, you know what, the animal's going to suffer either way. So it's like, I kind of got to just eat it and save myself. Eat it, eat it. Sorry, I'm always talking about food, it seems. Worst diet show ever. We went from Amico to the veganism. That's where, like, Tommy, he is really into PETA. I should bring that up. I even had a slide for it where I was, like, concerned about him. Like, you know what? Veganism has horrible effects on some people. I know some people it works fine, but other people, it's like, yeah, it takes you down a road that you don't want to go. Yeah, so Tommy's definitely been active with the veganism. Now, hopefully for Tommy's sake, he's not a hardcore vegan, so maybe he is just like half the year vegan, who knows? And who knows, Tommy could be one of those people where going vegan's actually helping him. Because you got to look at Apple, right? The Apple's founder, he was a fruitarian, so he would only eat fruit. Sadly, a lot of his doctors said that's what killed him, but arguably. Yeah, so if people didn't know that side about, like, everyone's like wondering, why is Tommy on edge so much when he's arguing with people? Can you imagine if you were vegan for like 20 years? How on edge you would be? How much you'd be arguing with every person you encountered? Like, God, if I go vegan just for a week, I start freaking out. Who am I kidding? I go freaking out anytime. I shouldn't make fun of it. All right, so yeah, PETA, he's got some DVDs. Who knows? Veganism might work for some people. So I don't want to be making fun of it. Arguably, it does work for some. Yeah, there's that debate where it's like veganism saving lives. And then some people argue it actually isn't true. That veganism actually kills more animals in the process of processing all the chemicals to make the food. So who knows if that's even true. That's where we start getting into like Amico and veganism. They both have very like mixed messages. Where they have like all this campaign propaganda that they say, hey, don't argue with the propaganda. But dear God, if you look at a lot of the vegan propaganda, it's just like the Amico propaganda. It's easily debunked. Or arguably. Yeah, and veganism is like that cult approach, right? Where everyone's like, where does Tommy and the Amico get all this cult-like behavior? It comes from veganism. Well, I'm not saying it's like it only comes from that, but it's definitely one of the main places that cult-like behavior comes from. It's veganism. It works for some people. Not that cults are all bad. Who doesn't want to be a cult leader and have orgies every day, right? Just kidding. Now, just to be fair that I'm picking on Tommy so much in the Amico, I am a big Amico fan. You can see I got the Intellivision coin on my shelf. It's the prize of my coin collection. I got the fucking new games. I only opened one of them because I wanted the coin. I do got some of the original games that I never even had to rebuy. These are actually ones I had since I was a kid. Even the Blackjack card. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, a lot of people were claiming that veganism's great for the heart disease, and I think it is short term. I could be wrong. Make sure you consult a dietitian, not me. But when you look at veganism long term, it's actually a lot of the muscles in your heart are rebuilt by the animal proteins. So the founder of the Vegan Society, guess how long he lived? He lived to be 66 years old. Guess what he died of? Heart attack. And people will say it's not from the veganism, he died of a heart attack for another reason, but yeah, it could be that. But just to clarify, there is no actual evidence that vegan diet is curing heart disease. If it did, it would be so easy, everyone would do it. But sadly, a lot of vegans die from heart attacks just like anyone else. Now, I think where it comes to the point, if you're like drinking gravy every day, well then obviously if you cut back on the drinking gravy, it's probably going to improve your chances not dying of a heart attack. Just if I had to guess. Yeah, let's go. Where's that Amico farm team? There's another folder that I got. I wanted to cover it last video a bit. Speaking of the cult. What Intellivision really missed out by not focusing on just releasing another flashback and getting some new games going and getting like a downloadable console. So even though it's a flashback console, you could download new games. And they're just old Intellivision games that people have made new ones. Like the what do they call them? The homebrews. So that's what I was thinking, they're missing out. Amico, what they should have done if I was in charge of the company, not to offer them advice, but I would have just did that, flashback console, have it be able to play the original carts, have it so they can download these new games off the Intellivision store, reach out to these game developers and be like, you know what guys, let's license your games and get it on the Intellivision store so that people can download them onto their flashback console. If that's the plan to save Intellivision, I would never be happier. Like, not to offer advice and put it into Tommy's mouth or anything. I got no idea what they're doing. But that's just what I would do if I wanted to save Intellivision. That's the road I would go. Get a flashback out there. Have it so it can play these games. Have it so it even supports online play so you can play against each other. Have it support new game downloads to a SD card. So we can start paying developers that are making the games already. Get this shit licensed. It's a fucking farm team right in your face, right? Every sports team, they have a good farm team. The Intellivision farm team could be the flashback console. Get it going, guys. Come on. Let's not lose faith. And yeah, who knows? Maybe the flashback console could do so well, the farm team could be so successful that they get so many games made, so many units sold, that they can all of a sudden afford to fund the Amico just with the profits from their own company. No crowdfunding needed. That'd be fucking sweet. Alright, so I hope everyone enjoyed the unboxing video. Well, we'll play my commercial, we'll come right back, and I'll read all the chat. I just need a quick break, so we'll run my commercial and we'll wrap up. So yeah, we'll try not to wrap up too late. Holy fuck, we're already over 2 hours. Yeah, so we'll try to go quick. Finishing quick is my specialty. Yeah, Beef Jerky is right. There already is an Intellivision Flashback. And then what people are saying is that they come out with new ones. So I was like, fuck man, the next Intellivision Flashback, if they could somehow work with Amico, that'd be fucking sweet. Well, not even Amico, if they could just work with Intellivision and get some updates to it. So like, yeah, so we get like the Intellivision name back and a new flashback, because the old flashback is sold out. You can't get it anymore. And it's costing like $200 if you want to get it used. So we need another flashback. It's not like there's not a market. They're sold out. So I think baby steps. If Amico wants to come out one day, just do baby steps. Do the flashback, do a better one, and then work your way up to a good console. Doesn't have to be complicated. Just add a fucking hard drive to the fucking flashback so we can download new games. Get the shit going. You watch how in Intellivision's profits, they'll be better if they can sell games from an online store to some actual hardware. Like I say, even keep John Alvarado on the project. Be like, John, we're working with AT Games. Let's get a fucking flashback console out there. A new one. People want a flashback console. They don't want the Amico. Now, not to be fair, like, allegedly they don't want the Amico. I'm already repeating what Pat and Ian have brainwashed into me. Allegedly. Now shit guys, when we're talking about flashback consoles, the company that makes the Intellivision Flashback, they make new renditions. So they'll come out with Atari Flashback one year, come out with another updated Atari Flashback, and then another updated Atari Flashback. So that's why people are like, you know what, they're going to come out with another Intellivision Flashback. And maybe they can work with the team at Intellivision. Who knows, right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like in Intellivision, they had too many old people working on it. Not to make fun of seniors. I know I'm very close to the senior age myself. Back in my day, we used to buy drugs from gangs. Now we just buy them from the government. But yeah, that's what I was thinking. They should have put a teenager in charge and be like, you know what? What do kids want in a fucking console? Let them fucking design it. Like, dear God, like I bet you even the kids, they probably would have put together another flashback and been like, hey, you had something here with these flashbacks. They were pretty good. It's like we're working too hard, too fast to try to change the technology. And Intellivision's doing pretty good with the technology already exists. Just got to do some updates to it. Have new games that you can download. Have it online multiplayer. We don't have to fucking break the atom here or split the atom. We're just trying to come out with a new Intellivision product. Doesn't have to be the greatest thing ever. It can be mediocre and I'll fucking sell out. Yeah, there's still a lot of fucking people that want the flashbacks. Even the Atari flashback. These things are selling out for God's sakes. So that's why I kind of disagree a lot with Pat and Ian when it comes to their idea that flashbacks aren't required. Go try to buy a PlayStation Classic. You see how much it's selling for today? If anyone bought the PlayStation Mini, you know, the Classic, you've doubled your money already. Those things are selling like fucking hotcakes. Can't get them anywhere. Costs like $200. So I was like, holy shit, Pat and Ian, at least look at what you're making fun of, right? Like, flashback consoles, the old shit. Anyone see what the TurboGrafx Mini's selling for now? Oh my God, I wish I would have bought some. They're selling for like $400. The TurboGrafx 16 Mini. Oh man, or did you see the Neo Geo? When Neo Geo came out with their Mini, I should have fucking bought it, man. I should have realized Neo Geo, man, when they came out with a new console, that hardware went up in price so much. I was like, Pat and Ian are so wrong about that. It's like retro consoles are never hotter. They're always selling out. They're collector's items. This is way better than that fucking Game & Switch crap. Like, I know, like, Pat, he's always promoting the Nintendo Game & Switch, or whatever they're called, Game & Watch. But those things are garbage, man. Like, some people like them, whatever, but these are the flashbacks that actually sell out. Like consoles that you can play the old games on. Plug the original controllers into. It's fucking wild shit. Like, anyone's making fun of the Amico and saying it had no chance. Like, God, man, just as a flashback console, if they could have released it like that, it could have sold out. Like, really, if you went back in time and Intellivision went to AT Games, they're like, you know what, guys? We need help making the Amico. Can you just make the Amico and call it the Flashback 3? And then, like, have help with them? And then they'd be like, oh, we can't put the screen in it. It's too expensive. And then Intellivision would have to be like, all right, don't put the screen. Just make it with, like, the actual overlays like it used to. So they would have had to make some compromises. And then AT Games would have launched it for, like, $60. So we could have had the Amico for $60 if they would have just worked with AT Games. Kept the cost low. Sure, the quality would be shitty and you'd probably have to buy it a few times because it would keep breaking, but dear God, at least it wouldn't be $500 or $400 or $300, whatever the Amico costs now. Like, I don't know if anyone had the choice. If you could buy a really expensive Amico for like $500, but it's good quality, or buy one from AT Games that's just like bare minimum and it costs like under $100, which would you rather purchase? To me, I don't care either. I would buy either of them, but I don't know. The Flashback, I do like how it's so cheap. I like cheap. Oh, that sounds terrible. Yeah, see, I think the weird thing with gaming is people forget, especially my generation, they don't forget. Well, they probably could be if they're too old and drunk and high by now, but back when I was a kid, like a teenager, there was 2 classes of video game consoles, actually 3. There was the cheap-ass fucking used shit, like the old Ataris, the old Intellivisions that you could get at garage sales and second-hand stores. Then there was like the high or the middle class games, which were like Nintendo, like the NES or whatever, which was pretty damn good, and it wasn't cheap. It's like middle class. So you're looking at prices of like a couple bucks for the low class. Middle class was like $100 for a console, or maybe $200 for the console. But they also had a high class price range for games. So when it came to someone who was like a super rich family, like someone living in a mansion, someone's like family's movie stars or relatives or have their own record company or something. So anyways, they had a console for them, and that was the Neo Geo. So you actually had a console that just cost shitloads more. So it went from like a few dollars for the cheap console, the medium class console, which was like, yeah, whatever, $200, or you had the fucking Neo Geo, which was like $1,000 or whatever, right? So people get perturbed the idea that Amico wouldn't sell well. I think the price, actually raising it higher and higher, would kind of open it up to that higher end price point. Like, if people make fun of it, they'd be like, holy fuck, what's next? Make the Amico cost $1,000? I bet you if you made the Amico cost $1,000 and released it, you'd have people like movie stars that would be buying it. They'd be like, oh, look at me, I can play the Amico, no one else can afford it. And then all the popular Instagram people would be like, oh, look at me, I'm playing Shark on a $1,000 console. Ha ha ha, all those poor people playing on their PS5 or whatever that only costs $500. No, you'd be surprised, people would be doing that shit. Would it be enough to actually support the console? Arguably, how many fucking crazy rich people are there in the world? There does seem like quite a few rich, like fucking Bitcoin people or whatever, and they spend it like crazy, right? Now, I was thinking what they should have done is made the Amico cost like $2,000, and like each controller is like $500, and then people that buy it, they'd be like the latest rapper. It'd be like endorsed by Justin Bieber. It'd be like, you know what? I'm working with Tommy Tallarico. Come buy my Justin Bieber console. And it would cost like $2,000. And you know how many people would buy it? He'd have teenagers fucking lined up around the block for like miles, for months, to buy the Amico at $2,000. Why? Because fucking people are crazy like that, right? Like when it comes to crazy people, I got some expertise. No, I'm just kidding. Like, look at Tim Hortons. They started releasing Justin Bieber donuts, and they were selling out like crazy. Or the Justin Bieber fucking, what was it, the sweater? Justin Bieber started selling a sweater that's like $700, and they can't keep them in stock. All the fucking teenage girls, they just buy them off the shelves like crazy. They force their parents to go into debt to buy it. Fucking come out with a $2,000 console, partner with Justin Bieber, fucking just laugh your ass off at Pat and Ian. You'd fucking sell out. Allegedly. So that's why when Tommy's like, oh, he could go and partner with someone. If he goes and partners with like another video game company like AT Games, that's kind of cool. But if he goes and partners with someone like Justin Bieber or like Drake or like Soulja Boy, the console could be a piece of garbage and people would still buy it like hotcakes, just if he partnered with the right person, right? That's where I think people can't deny is Tommy actually has the connections with like movie stars and like actual like singers and like huge record companies. People make fun of him about talking to those people, but he actually does, right? Like his cousins are literally like movie stars and rock stars. So he has the connections. Not saying he's going to pull it off. He's probably going to fail, but allegedly. I'm just saying if anyone could do it, it's Tommy. As much as people want to make fun of him for being a mean guy, I know I made fun of him about it too, but he does have those connections. Fuck, man, if he partnered with Soulja Boy, you can imagine how many Soulja Boy fans would buy the Amico. They could even sell it for like $2,000. Easy. They could even put it up to $5,000 a console. And I bet you there'd still be suckers buying it. Yeah, that's what they should do. Make the Amico like the world's most expensive console ever. Have it like $5,000. It's like a fucking car price. You can play Shark on it and then rub it in the faces of all the other Instagrammers that can't afford it, right? It'd be like Rich at Review Tech. He'd be the only guy that could afford to stream the Amico. It's like a $5,000 console. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Kids today, if Tommy just went to a bunch of teenagers, you know what, teenagers? You guys make the Amico. You know what they would make? They would make the next Roblox console. It'd be a console that uses the Roblox engine so the kids can make their own games, share them, and sell them to each other. It's like the free market system for video game creation, design, and distribution. So I think that's what they would have done. They would have been like, you know what, let's make the Amico, have all these really shitty game properties that from the past, and spruce them up with the Roblox model. So you take a game like Triple Action. So now the tank game, kids can just make their own tank game. Put the levels up. Other kids that play it, download the tank game levels. They can win Intellivision bucks. And now all of a sudden they have like a console environment where they can spend Intellivision bucks. See, Tommy fighting the whole online environment, oh, what a disaster. If I worked at Intellivision, I'd be like, you know what, Tommy, we got to take this Amico idea of like banning kids from like being involved with real money and shit, cancel that whole idea and just make it Intellivision money. So that the kids that are designing their own tank levels, they can win Intellivision bucks, and then they can buy Intellivision gear, they can buy Video Games Live tickets, whatever you want to sell them with the Intellivision bucks. So yeah, they could have made like a really fucking kick-ass environment with so much potential. Same thing with skiing. They launched skiing. If your kid designed it for the Amico, they would have talked to the Germans and they would be, you know what, Germans? The level you designed for skiing, it's pretty good and all, but kids, like Roblox kids, they'll want to design their own levels. They'll want to put like really wild, funny jokes in the levels and stuff. It'll have nothing to do with the game actually being a good game. It's just what crazy kids do on Roblox these days. And then they would design a crazy skiing Roblox level and then share it with people. So that's what they'd be doing, and then they'd win Intellivision bucks. So they'd be like, holy fuck, now this skiing game would actually appeal to the younger generations. They'd be like, holy fuck, I could buy the skiing game. I could start making Intellivision bucks. And then what they could have done too, to be really smart, tie Intellivision bucks to Roblox as part of that deal with the oof sound. So they'd be like, you know what? Kids, if you want to make Roblox, you could play Intellivision, win some Intellivision bucks, and then they could be converted directly to Roblox or Robux. If Tommy did that, fucking the Amico, I would invest like all my life savings. If that was the plan, I'd be like, man, if you're going to target kids and get them buying and making Intellivision bucks and then converting it to Roblox, you'd have a whole market of kids that would just start playing the Amico to try to get more money for Roblox. Like, I don't know how many other games are already doing that. I've lost track. So yeah, there's so much potential that could fix the Amico, especially if they put kids in charge to do it. Too many old guy ideas. That's why a lot of people made fun of, like, what was it, the company that makes Mega Man. They were saying Mega Man failed because of too many old guys. They're like, shit, man, like Mega Man was on the verge of being the greatest franchise ever, and they kept fighting all the good ideas because they always had the old man ideas. They're like, fuck, ditch all these old man ideas from the 600 years experience, go with the kid who's just been playing games for a couple months. You'd be fucking surprised what he can do. Yeah, Astro Smash. See, if they wanted to release Astro Smash for the Amico, should have been a clone where you can just design your own levels, and then every time someone plays it, they win Intellivision bucks for like high scores or whatever. Then those Intellivision bucks can be directly converted to Roblox. So then all the kids are like, holy fuck, I gotta go home and play Astro Smash. Why? So that I can win some more Roblox after I convert the Intellivision bucks. Because who the hell, what kid's really going to want to buy the Intellivision shit? But no, I'm joking. Maybe the kids could actually start liking Intellivision if all of a sudden they could win Roblox for making the Intellivision games. Because wouldn't that be funny if all of a sudden kids could make Roblox game designs for like Intellivision properties? So then all of a sudden kids would be expert at skiing. They'd all of a sudden be experts at Utopia. They'd be designing their own Utopia stages. Imagine some of the Utopia designs kids would make and then share with each other. Oh my God. Utopia is probably like one of the, this is basically the system seller. This is the Minecraft of Intellivision. If they could incorporate Roblox to Utopia, so it's like, yeah, you make your own Utopia levels, kids play them and share them, and if they do good or whatever, you win Intellivision bucks, and then you convert them to Roblox. So you literally have kids playing Utopia so that they could get Roblox. I know it's like predatory marketing, but come on, do something that's actually going to work, right? Like really, we could be nice about it and say, oh, let's not be predatory for the kids and try to get them hooked on designing levels for us. But it's like, really, man, kids, they got so much time and energy. They can design better games than we can. Atlantis. So yeah, kid could design some new Atlantis levels. I know I've gone on a lot of rants here, but I appreciate all the comments everyone's got. I just love talking about Intellivision. And to be honest, I've been really down in the dumps watching Intellivision content lately. Because as much as I hate Amico, I still wanted something from Intellivision, right? The whole idea, the whole project failing sucks. I really wish that they would have just went the flashback route or whatever. Come out with another Intellivision flashback at least. If everything else is going to bomb, let's at least get a flashback. Another one. Now, I was thinking what they should do is come out with the flashback and then just design it with the new shell. Like the one I got now, the Intellivision 2. So call it the Intellivision 2 flashback. With network capabilities, downloadable games. Hey, Warzard, how's it going? Yeah, like Warzard the Board Time Lord, he's saying that's a good idea. And technically, like for the games, having their own level editors, it's not really my idea. It's Roblox's idea. It's also the idea from Mega Man. There was actually a Mega Man game that was supposed to be that, where people would be able to create their own Mega Man levels, share them with the other Mega Man players, and then win Mega Man currency. So that was supposed to be a big game, but then they fought it. Like the old guys in charge of Mega Man, they said, oh, it's not a good model for Mega Man. And they fought it and got it shut down. So I think the project was called Mega Man Universe or something like that. So yeah, I think it's not just Mega Man, it's not just Roblox, all the Intellivision properties. Like literally, they're sitting on a gold mine of properties. A lot of these properties, like skiing and Triple Action and Utopia and Astro Smash, they're such basic properties that they would apply very good to a basic level editor. Like you could literally hand a kid a level editor for Utopia, and they can probably pull it off no problem, right? Utopia is such a basic game. The level editor for this is probably half as complicated as just Minecraft or Roblox or whatever, right? Utopia would be so much easier. And then Tommy could even, his connections at Roblox. Like what other person had a big dispute with Roblox to the point where they were arguing over the oof sound? I know Tommy arguably didn't create it or whatever, but when it comes to actually working with Roblox, Tommy has his foot in the door better than anyone else. Maybe arguably in a bad way because he almost sued them, but at least he has his foot in the door. He might have put his foot in the back door. Yeah, Bionic Commando. Fuck, man. That would be a great one for a level editor too, right? See, that's what I'm thinking. We're really coming to the fork road. You know, people made fun of Amico because Amico was supposed to save gaming. If Amico actually went down that level editor route, and all of a sudden gamers and level creators and like just everyone in general started profiting from owning Amico, because you're like, hey, like you could even sell Roblox for real money, right? So all of a sudden I could buy an Amico, become a new developer for skiing levels or Utopia levels, and now I have a console where I'm making money. So he really could have changed gaming with the Amico. Probably still could if they can fucking turn this dumpster fire around. I don't know, this dumpster fire is burning like like it was just poured in with jet fuel, so I don't know if there's any saving it, but dear God, some of these ideas, if they could even incorporate one or two of them, I think they could turn it around. I don't know how you put out a dumpster fire. You'd have to put in baking soda or something, right? Put it really out. No, but I think that's the future of gaming. We're going to see people that are going to make new, Street Fighter clones. So the next Street Fighter game I know is almost out, and they didn't incorporate this yet, but Street Fighter 6 or Street Fighter 7, it'll have a level editor. It'll have a character creator, so people will be able to make their own characters and share them. And then you'll win Street Fighter currency. It's like really the future of gaming. Like Roblox, they really hit it on the nail on the head when they came out with that model, right? I think I talked about that model quite a bit before Roblox, but Roblox really, they incorporated it and pulled it off. Not saying they will listen to my talks about it, but whoever they got the idea from, it was a good idea. Like, I think Atari, if the VCS, they could go the same route, right? There's so many good Atari properties that they could easily just make level editors and then have people start winning that Atari cryptocurrency. So every time that you get like really good results from your game downloads that you created on Atari's platform, you would win Atari crypto. So I think that's really been the loophole in gaming. Gamers, to want to save gaming, we hit a roadblock or a brick wall where all of a sudden gamers, they want to get paid to be gamers. How can you do that? You can live stream, or you can become a developer, like actually making the game engines. But now we're starting to get that third door, or the third door was competitions where you could play in tournaments and stuff. But now the fourth way, we're starting to get the Roblox method, where you just like make a level editor level and you're starting to make income from that. So you don't even have to be a developer. You can just be a person who's got really good level ideas and you just make the level editor. So I think that's where we're starting to come into gaming, is what's going to save gaming is that new fourth revenue stream, where all of a sudden people are like, you know what? I'm going to become a level editor. I'm going to be a professional Utopia level designer, or I'll be a professional skiing level developer. And what I'll do for a living is I'll make levels for Utopia, then live stream them so that people can see the levels, and then hopefully the people will either like the channel or they'll like the levels enough that they'll play it. And yeah, so you can start getting all these different revenue sources. So that's where Tommy, I didn't like how Amico at the beginning, he started to tell people, yeah, we'll get everyone coming in, helping on games. But he didn't make a system to make it happen. It was a great idea, just poor implementation. I think the Roblox method is the best chance we have at doing it. To really, I guess to save gaming, but really to make gaming a real legitimate profession. Like, you don't have to be the best player in the game. You don't have to be the smartest programmer. You don't even have to be a live streamer. Your job would just be creating levels in level editors. Same with like Mario Party, or what was that game? Mario Paint or whatever. I actually have it for Nintendo Wii U, but I haven't played it yet. There's like a level editor for Mario games, right? And did they make Mario bucks? I don't think they instituted a currency, so they really should have linked it to a currency. That would have been really good. Just like Roblox did with Robux. Now, some days I wish I could have got a job at Intellivision, because I think if I was on the team, I would be on that team and I'd be pissing a lot of people off, saying shit they don't want to hear. But at least I'd be one of those people that's pro Intellivision, pro Tommy, and I just want a good product out, right? I don't really care how many people I offend by saying shit. I know if someone's got an idea that's a bad idea, I'll fucking just be like Darius and I'll let him hear it. I'll be like, you know what, man? I think that's a fucking shitty idea. I get a lot of shitty ideas too, so I don't mind when people tell me. That's one of the things with becoming a creator of something. You have to have a thick enough skin that you can take some criticism. You know, when you're making stuff and it's really shitty, you gotta take some feedback. Try to make it better. Oh God, I love all these Intellivision games and consoles. I think I gotta wrap this stream up and go play some of them. God. I imagine it doesn't work after all this. I'll be like, no! Yeah, so I'll probably do an update video once my new Intellivision box of games arrives. We'll get all the Dungeons and Dragons. Maybe we'll even get it set up to live stream, hopefully before summer. Now my buddy who's really good at hooking shit up, he's going to come over and help hook shit up, so yeah, hopefully we'll get the shit hooked up. No, and if anyone's a game programmer watching these videos and they got some ideas on how they could play the Intellivision online, like 2-player against each other over some sort of network connection, that'd be great. I know it's probably not possible in the original hardware, might have to do it with emulators, but even if we own the original hardware and we still do it with emulators, I think we should be okay to live stream that. Hopefully. No, I'd really want to play some Snafu against people. It'd be kind of neat to play, what is it, the triple action games. So man, if we can play the tank games, oh God. Yeah, I'll try to get some reaction videos from kids about what they think about the Intellivision games. We'll get my niece and nephew to try Astro Smash. We'll get them to try skiing. We'll get them to try triple action, the biplanes and the tanks. I know they're going to hate it. No, I'm just kidding. They're like, oh man, what are you making us play? No, I used to do it with my other nephew and introduced him to the history of gaming. And sometimes kids are into it, right? Because they'll be like, holy shit, this is like a history lesson about stuff that I actually like. So they want to learn the history of where video games came from and all that. I don't know how long their attention spans will be to want to learn the history of it, but I think you can at least hook them a little bit to try it. Especially that tank game, man. I can hardly wait to try it. Yeah, Mario Maker, that's the one. Has anyone tried Mario Maker? Did they actually have a currency that you can win, like Robux? Or did they just make it, whoever wins your level, you win like a score? I don't know. Yeah, what a fucking future of gaming. Yeah, if anyone wants to try to get the Atari Flashback X, I think that's what they mean. Is like this is their latest edition of the Atari. If you can get your hands on it, let me know. Because I'm logging into this website like every day, just hoping that it's going to launch soon. Because it says it's coming out soon, right? And I want to get this Atari so that I can play the paddles. Because I used to love the paddle games. If anyone's ever played the paddle on an Atari, I arguably think this is my favorite controller design ever when it comes to Pong. Obviously, it doesn't work for other type of games, but when it comes to Pong games, being able to use this paddle, it's a deal breaker. And it even says that they're going to have it for sale at their accessory page. So that's what I was telling people. Like, you think it's a joke that AT Games is actually going to have the controllers for the Intellivision as an official accessory. I don't think it's unreasonable to think so, because they're advertising that they're going to have the paddle for sale for the Atari Flashback. And they're going to put it on this accessory page. So one day when the Atari launches the next Flashback, it's going to be on here. You'll be able to buy the paddle separately. So that's what I'm thinking. If the Atari releases or the Intellivision comes out with a new console at AT Games, like the updated console, they work with Intellivision, come up with the updated ones. We could even see AT Games selling the controller separately. That'd be sweet. If anyone's wondering, am I buying the Flashback portable? Probably not. I'm not a big fan of portable consoles. I usually just play them on a TV, so I usually just go with the actual consoles. I don't know if anyone else has ever tried a console from AT Games. Did they like it? Was the quality really bad? I know I hear about 50-50. Some people love it, other people hate it, right? So it's definitely one of those companies where you don't always get good products, it seems. But hell, if we can get a new Intellivision out of the deal, I think it's worth it. Alright, so I think we covered just about everything, and I want to go for 3 hours today because, yeah, let's relax and maybe actually try hooking up the Intellivision. So what I'll do is I'll summarize the viewer questions, and we'll put on the images on the screen again just to make sure we covered every one of them. Yeah, we got that. Let's go with that one. Yeah, let's go with that one. Alright, so yeah, this is the possibility. I don't know if it's it's just a rumor or speculation. Is Intellivision going to partner with AT Games again and just focus on getting a new Flashback out so they can save face and say, hey, look, Intellivision, they actually partnered with someone who could get hardware made and produced on time. Because I don't think AT Games will have that same issue where they just never launch. They know how to get a product out there. Yeah, and what I did cover in today's episode was the unboxing of the Intellivision 2. We did a review of the old controller or the modern Part 2 controller, and it didn't score high. It got a 4 out of 10. But we also did a review about the modern Intellivision controller that comes with the Flashback and how you can actually hook it up to the good console. So we're going to try to do that more detail once it arrives. And we also talked about how you can just put the ROMs on an actual cartridge, put it in your Intellivision, and play it on original hardware. So there's a lot of stuff that you can actually do with the Intellivision in 2022, if all else fails with the Amico. So we don't have to be too down in the dumps. And there's a lot of what ifs here too, right? Like what if the flash cart, hopefully they come out with new ones so they're cheap again. Right now they're sold out and it costs like almost $1,000 to buy one. And right now the console, the flashback, same thing, it's also sold out. So you're looking at close to $150 or $200 to get a good flashback if you want to use the controller for it on the original hardware. Yeah, and even the Intellivision console hardware itself is starting to get old. Like, fuck, man, it's 40 years old, right? So we really need some new hardware. So hopefully the next flashback, when they release it, for God's sakes, I hope they add a cartridge slot, right? God, I hate it when the flashbacks come out and they don't put a cartridge slot. What makes me happy is AT Games has actually put cartridge slots on some of their Sega flashbacks. So when we look at the possibility of having a cartridge slot, I think it is actual possible. AT Games has proven they can do it. Alright, so what was the other images we wanted to talk about? Oh yeah, there's the cord. So if anyone wants to get the cord to hook up the flashback controller to the old Intellivision Model 2, or the Intellivision Slim, or the Sears Intellivision, you can get the cord from the Intellivision podcast. Or at least I hope you can still get it. I haven't got mine yet. I'm trying to order it. And next episode, we'll be checking out some of the advanced Dungeons & Dragons games. Hopefully we'll get some overlays for them and everything. We'll check out the manuals. Yeah, I can hardly wait to see the manuals for D&D. Yeah, and we'll also, once the Intellivision Flashback arrives, and if I get hooked up to that to live streaming, we can also live stream some of these games. So if anyone wants to see any of these live streamed, the ones I'm thinking, Triple Action, Snafu. Yeah, if anyone's an Intellivision fan or even not, what are your top, let's say, 3 games on this list? If I had to pick my top 3, Snafu, Utopia, and yeah, that, what was it, the Triple Threat game. Was Triple Threat on here? Dun, 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 dun. But who knows, we'll give some of the other games a try. I don't think any of them are really that good. Oh yeah, here it is, Triple Action, right next to Utopia. Go figure. Yeah, so that's my top 3 favorite on this flashback list. If you're wondering if you buy the flashback, do all the games really suck? Arguably, yes. But if you want to find ones that are fun, that I still think that are fun, Snafu, Triple Action, and Utopia. I think those. And maybe Takeover. We'll have to check out Takeover. Yeah, Bionic Commando. Man, that would be a good one. So we'll have to try Shark. I don't know. We'll give it a try. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm not too optimistic about Shark, but who knows? Oh shit, yeah, it's getting late. Thunder Castle. Yeah, I've never tried that. Is that the He-Man one? Or it's just another one with a similar name? Yeah, Thunder Castle, I think I saw No Swear Gamer playing that one. That one did look pretty good. I'm not a big fan of the Breakout games. I actually knew a kid in high school who knew how to program Breakout right from scratch. He could write the code. So he didn't even have like an engine. He could design the engine. I was like, holy shit, man. And that was when I was a kid in high school. Can you imagine what kids can program these days? Yeah, Thin Ice. That's one where you skate around circles around your enemy and try to get them to fall through the ice. I've never tried that one. That was actually a game that I never owned on Intellivision, so I never tried it yet. We'll try to get that one. Oh yeah, it's coming on this one. Sweet. So we'll be able to try Thin Ice. We'll probably do a live stream of that one too. Give it a good fair review. Alright, so let's read all the other comments we got, or at least everyone who's in the chat. Rusty Valor, have an Amico Day channel. Naked HD, keep your clothes on, ladies. It's YouTube. Trust me, if we were on other platforms, I would say go ahead, strip. Beef Jerky. Ludo Ergo. Beef Jerky, have an Amico Day channel. D Reed. Ludo Ergo. Steadfast, yeah, welcome back. Speaking of the ladies. Ludo Ergo, Beef Jerky. Beef Jerky, Steadfast. Ludo Ergo. D Reed. I keep thinking Daniel for some reason. Steadfast, Beef. Warzard the Board, Time Lord. Don't forget that the upper middle class kids got an Atari 8-bit or the Commodore 64. That's right. Yeah, that's why I think it's so funny when people say that the Amico wouldn't sell if it was too expensive. But I just think of when I was a kid, right? Like there really was consoles that were stupid expensive. But they were so expensive that the company didn't really have to sell many. And they could still stay afloat. Because yeah, like think about it. If you had a $5,000 video game console, how many would you really have to sell to keep the company going? I know arguably in television they like to burn money like it's going out of style, but they would probably still have to sell quite a few. But I don't think that there would be people that would be like, you know what, I'm never buying this because it's too expensive. There'd be people that would buy it just because it's expensive. There's crazy people like that. I know, I used to know some women like that when they would go grocery shopping. They would go to the aisle and they would only buy the most expensive of every type of product. So if it came to like ketchup, they would only buy the most expensive ketchup. Or if it was like cereal, they would only buy the most expensive cereal. There's some people that actually shop like that. Not to say that only women do that. I know guys do it too. Like some guys, when they buy car parts, they'll be like, I'll only buy the top of the line car part. I'll never buy that cheap knockoff. Alright, so Beef Jerky, he was in the chat as well. Warzard the Board, Time Lord. Steadfast. Yeah, I was supposed to slow down on the game collecting. That plan backfired. I hate it, man. My plans, they just never work. Alright, no, at least we cut down on the expensive game collecting. I almost bought something more today, and I was like, you know what? Too much. I'm not buying the expensive shit. Has to be at least cheap stuff. Alright, so yeah, let's give a shout out to all the viewers. Thanks for the great comments and questions. No, not to use it as an excuse, but with my whole uncle's funeral stuff, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do one little bit more shopping into the Intellivision because I do a lot of streaming about it, so it is like an actual streaming thing. It's not like I'm just buying it to put on the shelf and never use it again. So hopefully, yeah, it'll help cheer me up. I'll actually use it. And yeah, I got the new Intellivision, or the Intellivision 2. I still can't believe I have it. And if anyone's wondering, is it worth ordering it? So far, just from holding it in my hands, if you're jonesing for an Amico, I can't think of a better way to get over it. To just wait till the next big announcement from Amico. Who knows, it could be years before the console ever comes out. So at least you have one that you can play in the meantime. And people are still making new games for it. Sadly, we can't download them from the internet. We have to buy physical copies still, but hey, who doesn't like doing that? And if anyone's wondering the color, if it fades, it actually comes out like an NES. Oh man, I love the color. Red, black, gray. It's just like NES quality. We'll see when it comes to see if it still works, but yeah, no dust or anything. That's the one thing when you order a console from Quebec. They also offer a cleaning service. So when they sell you the old consoles, it's all cleaned out. It's like there's no dust or anything in it. Yeah, so I'll do an updated video on whether or not it worked. All right, let's get a quick message from the sponsor.
Right. Today's Amico content was brought to you by Crack. It'll fuck you up. Woo!
Alright, had to pause there, but at least I was able to remember. Alright, Suki, Dan, Jim, Ray, Travis, everyone at Patreon, thanks a million. We got the same old affiliate links, Society 6, Finishing Quick, Hydro TV, Swagbucks, GameKit, Free Bitcoin. Well, we're going to try to get the 3D printer store going soon. So we'll be able to maybe print some 3D print stuff if anyone needs stuff. Well, we'll try to get a good video game selection going so we can offer some actual themed for the channel stuff. Who knows, maybe we can even print some of the heroes from Clone Evolution. I'll have to message the company and ask them. Alright, anyways, yeah, so Virtual Mate, you can check that out too. $10 off, 150 or more. Just follow your regional laws, coupon code LyingBS. And my website. Let's get back to the game screen. Alright, so yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. We just so kept this episode under 3 hours. So yeah, I appreciate the conversation about Intellivision. I know I'm not the biggest Amico fan. I can't stand the Amico, but I love Intellivision and I love Tommy's work. So, or actually, I love some of Tommy's work, not all of it, that's for sure. But anyways, yeah, let's hope we get some more Intellivision content soon. We'll do the box on opening of the new games, and we'll put them on my shelf, and hopefully that'll be all the room I'll have on the shelf. So we won't be collecting too many more games because we'll have limited space. Alright, so anyways, let's wrap it up and go to the fire screen. Alright, if you happen to get any skiing cartridges in your vaporizer, it tastes like shit, give the show a dislike. But if it doesn't happen, you can give the show a like. Really appreciate it. Just make sure never buy the products from my sponsor.
Because it will ruin your life. Bye for now, everyone. See you later.
Take care. Have an Amico day. Later. Almost forgot. Yeah, my collecting probably won't really end until I'm on the road. Once I spend a few months on the road or up north, I just won't have the room or time to order anything. That's how I'll quit. Alright, bye for now everyone. Good luck and have a good weekend. See ya.